to the ashes. The spirits light up the night, looking down the
Now, we're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with Monster Quest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now.
This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Hello, fellow Untoldians. Is that what they are?
Untoldians. That's a good word. I like that. Untoldians.
Untoldians.
That'll work.
And is Buttworm in the house? Yeah, he is. He's there. Just
okay.
Making sure. Hey, Charles, thank you. Sweet of you. It's wonderful. Anyhow, the Untoldian word is a new word I made.
Yeah, I like it. Untoldians.
Untoldians. Episode 258.
258, I think.
And so we're going to go down some rabbit holes tonight. We've got Tobe Johnson, Alicia Phifer from the Olympic Strange Days. But recently, those guys did an expedition at Bluff Creek. And man,
oh, wow.
He's got some amazing stories.
That'll be great to talk about.
Bluff Creek, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got Jason McLean, co-host tonight. He's a guest co-host. And he is like, what's the word to describe this guy? He is a scholar, a historian, kind of an expert on everything. He's definitely got the gift of gab. And let's go ahead and bring Jason on.
Welcome, Jason.
Hey, everyone. I would just say I'm a guy who draws cartoons and has a lot of fun.
Yeah, he also is an artist.
That'll work.
Let's get into that.
Yeah,
Jason,
I wouldn't go that far.
Jason used to host Mysterious Library.
Yep.
On the Untold Radio Network.
Yeah.
So we still have some kind of mic issue going on there. I don't know what it is. Are you getting the mic on the audio test that they do?
Yeah, no, it's still giving me a little bit of something. Hold on, let me try something real quick.
Yeah, turn up your gain or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm gonna turn my gain up too.
All
right.
How's that?
That's probably better. It's probably
okay,
better.
we'll go with that.
I'm not an audio expert. So anyhow, we've got these two researchers, and David Ellis will probably drop by too a little bit.
Cool. I'll always love talking to David.
We're going to eventually have 6 people on here.
Nice. It'll be fun.
Should get interesting. Of course, Jason hopefully will out-talk all of us. That's what I'm hoping.
Hey, my job is to be here and be amazingly sexy. Sir.
Yes. That I forgot to add that. I always do. The sexy.
That's Mr. Sexy.
Yeah, Mr. Sexy.
And call me Mr. Fabulous.
Yeah. So and every time I call Jason, he always reminds me.
Well, somebody has to because you keep forgetting.
Like, you forget how sexy I am, and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
If things slow down, I'll undo a top button or two, and we'll up the ratings.
I'm honored that you're
show a little leg or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honored you're with us tonight.
Yeah, glad to have you, man.
Fun. So
glad
just
to be here.
dive in. You're a host, so you just interrupt and do whatever you got to do.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Anyhow, so this week, and I don't think we talked about it, Jeff and I had kind of 2 interesting experiences this week because we were hanging out 2 days.
More than 2, but 2 that are relevant to the show.
Yeah. Anyhow, we saw a knot deer.
Yeah.
He was in his own car.
100%. I was following him in a different car, yeah.
Yeah, and so what it was, and Jim was with us too, and he was in his car.
Yep.
And he saw it too, so we know we're not crazy. It was basically a grown-up, fully developed white-tailed deer that was tiny.
Tiny.
Just miniature, the size of a dog. But it wasn't a fawn.
It was not a fawn. No way. No spots. It was proportioned like an adult.
Yeah.
It was out grazing by itself like an adult. I mean, it it was a miniature adult. It was very weird.
Not deer.
Not deer.
So if anybody's seen anything like this, please let us know. In the comments in the comments. Okay. Then we drove by a spot twice, which is just basically a sod field.
Almost the same area, just around the corner, really. I mean,
and there were all these people. Every time we drove by there were all these people with spotting scopes.
Yeah, big telephoto lenses.
And telephoto lenses. And I'm like, what the hell are they looking at? I
couldn't figure it out. Just the far end of a big field. I couldn't see anything notable at all. And we drove by, what, 4 times? We went back and forth twice. So 4 times you drove by. And there was different people there all 4 times. Weird.
It was just out there looking at nothing.
Yeah, we couldn't figure what the heck they were looking at. And it was more than one person.
Yeah.
Over a pretty long period of time. So I can't figure out what the heck they were looking at.
Maybe
so that goes down.
Deer.
Yeah, maybe they were looking at the not deer. I
Could
don't
be.
know. Yeah, it was like a dwarf deer. It was like a key deer. Like there's deer down in the keys that are miniaturized, and I'm sure they're relative to the white.
Arizona has deer like that too. They're called coo deer. They're tiny little. They look like whitetails, but they're tiny. They're native to Arizona.
But up here, our whitetail deer are huge. They're huge.
Pretty good size usually. It was bizarre.
I have a quick theory about deer, though, pertaining to the idea of small deer. You have the jackalope, right?
Yeah.
Right. And, of course, the general assumption amongst cryptozoologists is that it's, in fact, what we're seeing right now in Oklahoma with that virus where they start growing.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a bit.
Yep.
Yeah. So here you go. That's usually the assumption as to what created the jackalope and some of these others, right? But since there are so many different mini deer around the world, right? Except here, we don't have mini deer in North America.
No.
I have a sneaking suspicion, and this is just a personal thing for me, that it could be that there is a now extinct genus of subspecies of miniature whitetails that were more adapted to desert living. And again, which would mean much longer ears.
Well, somebody can look that up. But there was a giant deer one time, and I saw a giant prehistoric deer because it was standing at the side of the road. Same thing, just like what we saw, except it was enormous. Maybe another 2 feet tall or 3 feet taller than a moose. Brown with a pointed kind of nose and a very big, sharp rack. And it was feeding at the side of the road at night. And I went, what in the world did I just see? I looked it up, and there was a prehistoric deer with that upturned nose, just like I saw with the upturned nose.
Yeah, all kinds of megafauna. They used to have all kinds of megafauna here in North America, as well as other places. So again, between megafauna and microfauna, I think there's some plausible explanations for a lot of weird things that people see.
I have a feeling I know what maybe be wrong with your mic. Maybe just unplug it from the bottom, replug it in, because you always had great audio.
Yeah, 1 second.
There's just... Sorry, do it without the mic. I don't think your mic's even on. Do it without the mic. Talk.
All right, how about now?
Tap on the mic.
Really quiet. Yeah.
Tap on the mic. Yeah, it's so muffled, Jason. It's really
Let me try something real quick. I'll be right
back. All right. Come back. All right, let's get into the news. And let's get this damn show under the way here.
You bet.
Untold Radio news that can be a bit weird is right now.
All right. Scientists raise alarm over unexpected wildlife behavior around solar farms. So, and I always kind of laugh at these things when I see them, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope nothing flies over this thing. They're going to get baked. So it says scientists raise alarm, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on. They're talking about how the birds, mainly waterfowl, think it's water as they fly over. And it diverts their course. Are you hearing me, Jeff?
Yeah. I'm having some issues here too now all of a sudden.
What are you having now? What's going on?
I can't load more pictures up, and I don't know why.
Oh. Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, I think.
What's going on tonight? Are we being attacked again?
You know, and the thing is, I literally do a dry run of the entire show at least once, usually twice. I restart my computer every week.
Well, we don't need to hear your procedure.
I mean,
it doesn't work, right? So we're done.
I mean, I don't wing it. I mean,
So we're done with the news.
No, I think I need to. All my links. I mean, all my open tabs crashed on me.
I'm blaming
here.
Jeff now. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, let's just blame.
Fair enough. Well, your audio's better. Okay. Well, you know what?
Use a bigger hammer.
Yeah, there you go. Well, talk amongst yourselves. I need to restart my browser here. I'll be right back. Sorry, everybody.
Go ahead.
All right.
Toodles, Jeff.
Oh, gotta love
stuff.
live.
It just never ends, man.
Did you guys have a lot of problems, Jason, when you guys were doing Mysterious Library?
No. I think there's something else going on here.
Oh, look. Okay, now listen.
Yeah.
So it was his audio was overpowering our audio.
Yep.
So yeah, his computer was screwed up.
Yeah, I just had to use a bigger hammer on mine, but you know, we've been in this business long enough to see weird things happen when you talk about certain things. So yeah,
Did you notice how the audio got better when he dropped off?
I noticed that. I'm blaming Jeff for the rest of the day.
Jeff for everything.
Jeff for everything.
Even Buttworm was blaming Jeff.
Oh, well, you know when Buttworm's turned on you, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Anyhow. Okay.
So solar farms, huh?
Yeah, I was talking about solar farms, and my comment is, it says it's misleading birds into landing or veering off course, and I'm thinking, I don't think birds are that dumb. First off,
well, okay. I mean, you're not wrong.
A solar farm isn't that big, you know. It's like,
some of these solar farms are pretty big, particularly the ones around here. They're pretty darn big, and we have to remember though. We're just sort of speculating as to why it may be throwing them off. There may be a completely different reason as to why they're being thrown off than what they're presenting, right?
It could be the heat, or it could be the EMF that comes off them.
And birds have a very different type of vision from us. Like, they don't see colors the same way we do. They see things a little differently. So it may be far more, again, to them, it may look completely different than it looks to us. We have a very unique
okay, hold on, Jeff. Your gain is up so high that I can hear everything in your room. When you came back, when you left, audio got great. Now it's
you talking to me?
Yeah, you, Jeff. Your audio is horrible.
Heck?
You have like an ambient room sounds that's taking over the whole show. So turn your gain down on your mic. You have a gain button. Turn it way down. Well,
is that better?
Keep going.
How about now?
There, right there. You had the gain turned way up.
I didn't change a thing. That's so weird.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's easy to do. Anyhow, it's much better. Did you get your?
Here, well, I'll move me back to where I belong.
Did you get your thing? Your photos all working?
Yeah. It's so frustrating. Now I got to get all my tabs set up the way I like them.
Well, we have to just move on then.
Welcome
no. Give me a second here. I can. Give me a second.
I want to talk about this Frankenstein rabbit
okay.
situation.
You want to skip to that one?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second here. I can pull that up.
Yeah, because Jason's familiar.
I'll just vamp while you're doing that. I can do a puppet show.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
All right. So this virus apparently, they mentioned Colorado, but it's here too in Minnesota.
It's basically everywhere.
It's everywhere. So why did they say in Colorado? And they make it sound like this virus is just specifically there, like it doesn't cross borders. But they're calling this eerie tentacle-like growths on their faces. And it looks like, it says there, it looks like black quills or black toothpicks sticking out from all around the mouth of the rabbits. It says Fort Collins resident Susan Manfield told the outlet about one rabbit I thought would die off during the winter, but it didn't. It came back the second year and it grew. Another person described unusual additions to the outlet as scabbish-looking growths. But apparently what happens, it's caused by the papilloma virus?
Yeah, it's like a form of cancer. It is a virus, but it has these are essentially cancerous growths that harden into horn-like things. That's why when they said like toothpicks, I'm like, the heck kind of toothpicks are you people using?
Exactly.
They look nothing like that, but they are sort of tentacle-like, and again, I can see there maybe being like a bit of a outbreak in one area, or just really what it sounds like is a few people took pictures, and now all of a sudden everyone's going to talk about it because they need something to talk about.
Right. Well, it's a
gotta be
virus.
Scary.
Well,
There was one in my yard a couple weeks ago. It was creepy.
Oh, really?
It's scary because what if this crosses over to humans?
I imagine it can make some people much better looking.
Yes, there you go.
Well, there's something similar in squirrels I just read about, too. Squirrels are getting these huge warty growths on them.
I read about that.
Transmitted the same way through bugs. Hopefully it's a completely different virus and not a mutation of this one.
Okay, but as hideous as this is, there's a feel-good end to this. Apparently, the rabbits recover.
Yes.
These fall off, they dry up, they fall off, and it doesn't kill the rabbit unless it gets in their mouth and they can't feed. But that's the whole wonderful thing that we maybe have to look forward to someday when it crosses into humans, is having black growths all over us.
Let's hope not.
No, I'm just joking. I don't think there's... That's not...
It doesn't, again, unless it affects their ability to feed or it gets into their eyes or something, it's usually... they can recover from it. So again, like you said, it's a feel-good story. And for, again, the cryptozoologists, and fans of cryptozoology, this has long been theorized as where the origins for things like the jackalope. And there's others, right?
Yeah.
The names, like in Germany, it's like the Wolfsprung or something. It's very, very similar. That is the proposed origination point for these myths and these stories, is that people saw the virus, they didn't know what was going on, like it's a rabbit with horns, what's happening, right?
Yeah.
And boom, you get yourself a jackalope. I'm still going with the mini deer, though.
The one that was in my yard, it's been a few weeks, and I saw it for about a week and I haven't seen it since.
Jeff, you got to turn your gain down even more.
What the heck?
You're just blasting my ears out.
Is that better?
Keep going.
How about now?
A little more up now. Now up. Now you went too low.
All right, how's that?
A little higher. Just tad.
Okay, I'll know.
There you go. Now
All
you're
right.
level.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, what is going on here?
I don't know. All right, next story. Are you ready with photo 5?
I will be in a
and this is a story about officials turning to minnows to fight off mosquitoes, the onslaught of mosquitoes. And these are called the mosquito, what are these things called? The mosquito minnow or the mosquito fish? It says officials turn to an unusual species to fight off an onslaught of mosquitoes. It says we don't have to do any treatment. So it's and I agree with that. That's kind of cool. Stock everything with minnows. God knows what ecological unbalance that will cause, right?
Right.
There never seems to ever be a cure for anything. One thing, like they bring in the Asian ladybugs to kill off some kind of beetle, and then that thing goes crazy, and then they bring in another one to kill. I'm like, oh my God. But here's another case of this. So apparently, if you want to stay safe from mosquito-borne illnesses, and you don't want to use harsh chemicals, this is apparently the ideal solution. It's a natural predator of mosquito larvae, and they're using this now in Florida. And it's called the mosquito fish. What could go wrong is my question.
So, funny thing, I actually am very familiar with this particular little fish because.
Well, I figured you would be.
well, hold on, but like legitimately, like I'm not just sitting around reading about minnows. I do have other things to do with my life. I have to draw pictures of monsters and stuff. My father later in his life got into a lot of like. Not really homeopathy. It's not the word. Organic farming, and his backyard. He wanted to do everything naturally. He wanted to use. He didn't want to use chemicals at all, and he converted this sort of old pool that we had into a koi pond, And so, in order to avoid mosquito outbreaks every year, he bred and released these mosquito fish. And again, it worked really, really well. There were no mosquitoes.
Well, there you go.
So it worked pretty darn well.
Well, do you know how many mosquito larvae these can eat a day?
You know what? Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
It's 100. 100.
That's a lot of mosquito larvae.
100.
So I was right. It was more than 3.
Yeah.
But I'm still always like, what could go wrong when you start, releasing some, because it's going to interfere with some other
It's going to
natural
replace something that's already there.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. There's already going to be, now, I mean, theoretically, it shouldn't necessarily replace something because they do predate predominantly on mosquito larvae, but there's already going to be something in the water that's out there that's already doing that. So it's just going to, it may unbalance some other fish, but it'll probably come out in the wash.
Anyhow,
because they're still prey animals. Like they're very much food for other fish. So it won't go like the way of the Asian jumping carp that got released. Remember those things?
Oh yeah, well they're still dealing with that too.
They're still dealing with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next, and this is a topic that we got into a very deep discussion at my house over the weekend because my nephew John stopped in. He's like you, Jason. He's a scholar on many topics. In fact, he's going to come on because he's a scholar on the Bigfoot Mormon connection. So we're going to have John on coming up on a future show here. But we got into this thing, which the headline reads, "New research finds that ChatGPT secretly has a deep anti-human bias." In other words, it loves its own AI slop versus human facts. So it'll scan the internet looking for its renditions of the truth and use those even though it might be wrong. That's what the article's about. That ChatGPT favors itself, which is weird, right?
Well, I mean, kind of. And don't get me wrong. Yeah, on the surface it should be weird, but what do humans look for, right?
Well, yeah.
You know as well as I do that
we like human
faces.
Yeah.
Like you want to sell something to a person, you try and put a human face on it. That's the easiest way to do it. It wouldn't be really that far of a leap to say that AI would do the same thing. Now again, ChatGPT, and none of this is actually artificial intelligence. It's machine learning, so it's
right.
A little, that's one of those. It's largely a sales term. However, the idea that it would sort of find favor with its own or similar programming, I think that's a reasonable expectation, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, so anyhow, it says here that AI-generated resumes, for instance, do better. They perform better than human ones, which is interesting. But generally, AI biases itself, it is interesting.
Well, great.
And we got into a deep discussion, and we got into a really interesting discussion over here. We talked for like an hour and a half on it because Alex was here, and Alex is really into AI, and so is John, and I was the one asking all these dumb questions, but it was interesting. So don't trust everything you get from AI. That's kind of what it's saying. It's going to favor its own, what they call slop, AI slop.
All right. Well, it even hallucinates. It'll create.
I know.
It creates stuff out of nothing where it's like, due to this, this paper over here says this, and that nothing. It doesn't exist. So yeah, I can see that being.
What I hate about AI is it can't even spell when you give it a word. You say, like, do an animation with this word in it, and it cannot even get it right. It misspells it.
Yep.
Or it can't put the right amount of
all kinds of strange stuff.
It can't put the right amount of fingers on humans, or the right. It's weird. Or it'll put 4 legs on a human. Like, really? Where are you getting that information?
I saw a thing a while ago, and it's popped up a couple times. It says that looking for AI art is a lot like trying to decide, or it falls very much in line, strangely, with Fae, right? It's like the old things about Fae. It's like, how do you know you're dealing with a Fae? You start counting fingers, and you start looking at their teeth. It's the things that they can't get right. It's like, this is an oddly similar overlap here. So
yeah,
take it for what it is.
Interesting point.
All right, then they have labeled the 10 U.S. cities with the absolute worst weather. And I thought, well, this is interesting. I wonder where Minneapolis, falls.
Hoping for Dallas.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. First off, we have, let's see here. Number 10 is Fort Worth, Texas. And apparently it's because of thunderstorms and dramatic weather moods, they're calling it. And then we have Arlington, Texas, takes number 9 place. And that's apparently
right next
close.
to Fort Worth.
Yeah, it's right next to Fort Worth. And it says their weather really doesn't play nice. Hot, sticky afternoons, gusty evenings in the Lone Star City, blah, blah, blah. And then number 8 is Chicago, Illinois. We all know why that is. Obviously cold. They're on the lake. They have unpredictable temperature drops around the lakefront. Then Indianapolis, Indiana. It says don't try packing light with high variability in both wind speed, temperature. It's all over the map. And then Tulsa, Oklahoma. And apparently that's thunderstorms, right?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's the same reason for the same thunderstorms Tulsa hits. Or hits Tulsa, hits Fort Worth and Arlington. Because
okay. And then Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
Oh, Louisville. Sorry. Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. It says it doesn't get talked about enough when it comes to chaotic weather, but this city delivers serious whiplash, rain, shine, and something in between. It's all on the table. So that's Louisville. And then we have Kansas City. It says it's a hotbed of unpredictable weather. It doesn't say what it is. Minneapolis, Minnesota. It says Minnesotans already know that living here requires you to check the weather apps constantly. Temperature swings like 22 degrees Fahrenheit in a single day. Then it goes up, like a roller coaster. And then number 2 is Omaha, Nebraska. And that's because of the highest average wind speeds. I would imagine probably because aren't they on the jet stream?
Plains, yeah.
The jet stream.
Yeah, they're part of the plains. So
yeah,
I just thought being part of Nebraska would be bad enough.
And then it looks like the worst one is Oklahoma City because of all the tornadoes.
Yeah,
severe storms. Yep, sudden temperature drops. Blah 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 blah. So there you go. And I picked one of those to live in. How about you, Jason? I think you did too, didn't you?
Well, so Fort Worth. So the DFW's Dallas Fort Worth. It includes Arlington. I'm in Waxahachie. That's 30 minutes from my house. It's all one big metroplex. And the reason for like Arlington and Fort Worth getting it worse than Dallas, funnily enough, there's this thing called the Cedar Ridge, where it's like it just goes. Where North Texas kind of goes up, and then there's just everything looks normal, and then there's this sheer drop off, and it turns into Grand Prairie, and it goes into Arlington and Fort Worth, and that's literally the base. And the ecology is actually very, very different on either side of this thing. It's very weird when you see it, but it's essentially the base of the Great American Plains. That hits Tulsa and Oklahoma City and Nebraska, and that little change in geography changes a lot of the weather. So there you go.
Well, good. Then we have farmers are deploying an unexpected aid to protect livestock from grizzlies. I didn't really think about grizzlies going after livestock since they mainly eat vegetation. It says apparently the populations are growing enough. They're raiding farms, ranches, and people are getting bear dogs again to keep the grizzlies away, which is interesting.
Yeah, I was hoping for robots, but
and so their farmers are in Montana have started employing bear dogs to protect their families and food supplies. And I can imagine it would be a little unnerving to own property and run into a grizzly in your yard. That wouldn't be That'd be a little unsettling.
No thanks.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I don't.
Not this white boy.
But apparently, you get a guard dog, one of these bear dogs, and the problem disappears. They don't like dogs.
Interesting.
And then
Another reason to like dogs.
And then something you're probably really familiar with, a lot of us are following it, is this this Atlas thing. They're still arguing on what it is, although I think the arguments are fading and it's becoming a comet. But Avi Loeb is still hanging in there with his arguments, going, now he thinks it's glowing from within.
I saw that.
And yes, and
See a lot of
so
theories about that,
yeah, and so it says last month astronomers made an exciting discovery, observing an interstellar object. Right, it says only the third. God, it's terribly written. Apparently, this thing is, yes, probably AI. It's hurtling towards the center of the solar system. But Avi Loeb had brought up that it was making really interesting maneuvers and going by certain planets, and it's going to go, behind the sun, Jason and Jeff?
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah. And so whatever.
Yeah.
But now they're saying they've photographed it glowing, and of course, most astronomers are saying that's normal. And Avi Loeb's going, no, he thinks it's a light from within. So we'll see. Maybe we'll
wait and find out.
We will find out eventually.
He says, okay, let me give the exact quote. The observations led Loeb and his colleagues to an intriguing, albeit far-fetched possibility that the mysterious space object is generating its own light. So there you go. Enough of that crap, because we'll probably never know.
Yeah. Now, how about we just nuke it and see how it works out? You know,
good idea.
I mean, if it's just a comet, okay, cool. We nuke something in space. If it's not, they stop by and say hi very aggressively.
Yeah, I like that. Very aggressively. Oh, geez. Oh, that's enough of that news stuff. I want to do tech breakdown, and if we want, we could get right into our two guests, which I see are backstage. But I've got a pretty decent little tech breakdown that a lot of people don't think about. Jeff, you want to hit it?
Sure. Did you want to play the other video first, or?
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. Be right back.
Yeah, we're gonna
got
take a little break.
video on
Yep.
the New York Bigfoot Conference. Here we go.
Bigfoot's real.
Oh, yes, they say.
They came with their stories, they came with their proof. From the Appalachian hollers to the cabin's roof, the New York Bigfoot Conference just offers more convincing proof. Sasquatch believers, the skeptics too, under one big arena with a curious crew. Vendor booths and chili fries, cryptid shirts in every size. Bigfoot's real, oh yes, they say. Spotted him just the other day.
I can't believe what I just saw. It looked like a Sasquatch.
Shadows play. Bigfoot's real. Don't look away. A man with only a camera says he heard the howl by a creek so quiet near an old church tower. A woman saw footprints as big as a plate
come to the New York Bigfoot Conference and believe.
Yeah, that turned out really good.
Anyhow, that is our own Loretta Collins that's
Yep.
putting that on. So, and along with Mark DeWorth, they're hosting it, and it should be a really great event. They got a great speaker lineup.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
lot of fun.
tech breakdown.
Here we
Let's
go.
do it. Now, who does not want to see in the dark, right? Especially when you see how cheap it's getting, then you're really going to want to see in the dark. Do you have night vision goggles?
I do
don't.
not.
Yeah, of course
No,
not. Well, now
not yet.
you might be able to want to get them tonight because
Okay.
this is unbelievable. Okay, so I found this pair of goggles. Did a lot of, I checked all the specs and did everything I could. Read the reviews. In fact, I've got some I can show. They're asking $89 retail for this, but there's a
Oh, really?
20% coupon and another 10% coupon.
Wow.
And this comes with a carrying case, cords. It comes with the memory card, which is already, isn't that like worth $30? Just the memory card.
yeah.
They gotten pretty cheap now.
20? What are they now? I don't know. I don't buy
They're
them that
pretty
often.
cheap.
Yeah, it
Okay.
kind of depends.
Well, it's a 32 gigabyte memory
Yeah.
card. They're not free. That's for damn
No, they're
sure.
not free. But yeah, they've come down a lot. But yeah, it's better than not getting one for free.
USB cord. And what's cool about this one is you can use it in the day as binoculars
Oh,
and at night, and it's a video camera. So it records video,
Nice.
full res. They're saying 4K video. I'm always skeptical, when those claims are made. It probably is 720 at the low end and maybe 1080, hopefully, right? You don't know. But what's cool is the daytime recording that you can do. So you can bring one little thing and use it for your daytime. It's got 5x digital zoom, but it's the price.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Throw up Photo T3.
No, that's
Oh,
right
you
there.
do have it up. Okay. It's the day and night thing is really cool. It's got a rechargeable battery. It's a 5,000 milliamp battery, which will last a long time. It's got, 23 millimeter lenses, so that's not bad. I just think it's a hell of a deal. So total, I went and put it in my cart because I'm going to probably pull the trigger on it. So it comes to $77.84 with just one coupon applied.
Wow.
Oh, really?
And that's with tax, shipping, everything, $77.
Well, if you like it, I'll end up buying one too. That's pretty
So
awesome.
if you don't have one because you think they're too expensive, think again. And this one, the reviews are actually spectacular on it. Let me see if I can read one here. Here's one guy writes. One guy writes, these night vision goggles really surprised me in how clear the image is, even in total darkness. I love that you can capture both photos and videos right onto the included memory card. The rechargeable battery lasts a long time, and it's great
Battery.
not having to mess with AA batteries. I've used it for camping, just exploring in my yard at night, and it works exactly as expected. Solid built, great features, fun, useful gadget for anyone who wants to see in the dark, which anybody who does Bigfoot research needs to see in the dark. The only complaint on the next review I found was that they were saying it was kind of a heavy unit. Well, okay. He said if they
What a
could make
tech.
it. That was
What do you
it.
do?
That was his only complaint. Oh, the neck strap could be a little more ergonomic. So that's not much of a complaint.
Well, it just sounds like you're supposed to do a few more reps and suck it up. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hearing.
But I just think for that price, people may, if they don't own one, and the beautiful thing with Amazon, you're going to return it.
Yeah.
And I did put the link in the YouTube. If you look at the description on the YouTube
Yeah.
video, I put a direct link to this. You can click on the exact one he's talking about.
Yes.
Just look up at the
Perfect.
description.
I'll
And
be following up with that later.
full disclaimer, we are not an affiliate. I'm not an affiliate. Nobody is.
Nope.
We don't get any commission. Just something I found thought it was, researched it, thought it was a great deal. So, and especially with the coupons.
Yeah.
And I believe you can use both coupons, which would bring it lower than 77. It would bring it down to 70, almost even.
That's ridiculous. I mean,
So there you
that's
go.
really a cool gadget. I'm looking forward to seeing what yours does. That would be cool. I'll probably get
Ha,
one.
ha, ha. Yeah, then the price is going to be back to normal. I know you'd be, I was kind of hoping you'd be the guinea.
I'm spending money on other stuff lately.
Yeah. So
Fixing
anyhow,
bikes.
yeah, we've got lots of stuff. I'm not sure if our guests in the back are ready or
It
not.
does not look like it.
Nope.
There they are. Yes,
There
they
they
are
are.
ready. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's go
We
ahead.
just got a thumbs up.
Yeah. Well, let me introduce these guys. We've got more stuff, and what I want to do, Jeff, is do it towards the end of the show.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got some more things that we want to do. We'll do it towards the end of the show.
Sure.
So stay tuned, folks. All right. Throw up photo 17.
I'm sorry, which one?
Photo 17.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Tobe Johnson and Alicia Phifer have been, apparently they're doing crowdfunding. And they're doing these amazing little expeditions and filming. I've known Toby for quite a while, or Tobe. And apparently they've had some great encounters on their trips. In fact, we discussed them going up to Snowbro.
Oh,
So we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
But Tobe is used to podcast. I don't know if he is, but they're actually documenting what they're doing. And we'll discuss some of that stuff. But he comes from a long line of doing research out in the Olympic Peninsula. If you remember, he published the Owl Moon Lab, published the Owl Moon Lab book. And you have a photo of that.
I do.
Here one published. There it is. All the high strangeness at the Owl Moon Lab. And Alicia is his research partner. Well, let's go ahead and just, welcome Tobe and Alicia.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, so we got I love car casting. And
Well-
the reason they're car casting because they live in the boonies.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't trust you have Starlink, don't you, Tobe?
Yeah, we do. It's great for uploading stuff, but not downloading, or maybe vice versa, downloading and not uploading.
Yeah.
Regardless, it would be a signal right now. So hopefully we're coming in clean and clear for everybody.
Yeah, you guys don't sound too bad. All right. Anyhow, so what in the world have you guys been doing, and where have you been, and why are you doing it? What's your goal? What's going on?
Well,
You go first.
so Alicia is my girlfriend, Alicia Phifer. I call her Allie. So if I refer to Allie,
Okay.
that's what I'll refer to as. But this has just been an adventure for me Allie and I were talking about this close to 20 years. And so that's kind of a mile marker for me as far as like, wow, I must really enjoy what I'm doing, right? Because a lot of times you just do this for the pure enjoyment of it all.
Mhm.
And I was lucky enough to find a woman in my life that wanted to do this with me. And she has her own experiences, her own version of high strangeness. And, everybody kind of knows my story, so I don't want to beat it into, existence again. But as far as what happened with me, right? Like I got interested into the Sasquatch phenomena about circa 1995. I went down the rabbit hole with this incredible place called the Owl Moon Lab, which is still active in the small town of Cottage Grove. And Alicia kind of heard about this Bigfoot event happening, the Owl Moon Lab situation. She was familiar with the general area. And then Allie, you take it from there.
Yeah, at the Sasquatch Summerfest in Oak Ridge. And I had never been to, I've been interested in Bigfoot and paranormal stuff my whole life, but I'd never attended any conference of the kind. And so I was like, you know what, I need to just go. And I ended up meeting Tobe and a bunch of amazing people. And I kind of went from being more on the paranormal side to more on the Bigfoot side. But I mean, I also knew that I think it all was a little bit connected. So I found my people who believe the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been going on adventures since.
And I would imagine this stuff gets a little scary. I heard you guys went, and one of your trips, you went to Bluff Creek. And already we already know that Bluff Creek is a very eerie, I've been there. It is a very eerie, unchanged area. I mean, it's, as far as I know, it's pretty much the same way it was, other than a few dirt roads.
Yeah, like we didn't, 20 years is a long time to never have gone to Bluff Creek. And it just so happened the director of the documentaries I'm involved with, now that Allie's involved with here, A Flash of Beauty, and the YouTube channel we're involved with. The director, Brett Eichenberger, stayed the night at Bluff Creek and knew that we were going on this paranormal road trip, right? Like we were gone 17 days. We just got back a week ago. So we're still kind of coming off the high. Here we were directed to go to Bluff Creek, but I didn't really know that we were going to like the trailhead of Bluff Creek. So here we just kind of arrived to a pinpoint where there had been a recent sighting, and Allie and I just released this episode like 2 days ago called Bluff Creep because it was such a creepy experience day one. And it's one of the most beautiful places. If anybody's ever thinking of going to Bluff Creek, shouldn't they go, Allie, just based upon the fact that it's gorgeous?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's very peaceful.
Yeah.
We were, I think, basically the only ones up there, minus like 2 Bigfooters the first morning that drove out. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple of squatchers down in the actual creek bed, like going hardcore. But in order to get down there, you have to have 4-wheel drives to get to like the 2 road, or you got to walk. So well, that's a different horror show. Is the fact that we walked down to Bluff Creek. That means you had to walk back, right? Because there's no elevator.
I don't trust it.
But we're both, here now, and we both survived it. But yeah, night one, I mean, there's a lot of things we could talk about as far as like the Olympic Peninsula in Washington has its own strangeness. That's why Olympic Strange Day started. That we kind of embrace the fact that, hey, yeah, we have Sasquatch here, but this is like a very haunted, rich, paranormal environment as well. So that's what we do in the show, is that we try to once a week, we come close to once a week, putting out an episode, and Allie and I investigate and interview environments, places, people, and stories. And Bluff Creek was one of those ones, just like, oh, we have to leave the OP. So maybe we should come up with like Olympic Strange Days and beyond. And so beyond we went, out of our zip code, and we got our you-know-what handed to us on day one. It was actually to the point I was so caught off guard, guys, Allie included, by the scariness of night one. Because I don't usually scare that easily. It hasn't been a scary trip for me the last 20 years. It's been kind of neutral. But describe what happened in Bluff Creek.
Well, I mean, we immediately had action when we would go inside the tent. And we got up multiple times because we were hearing things of like rocks being thrown, and we'd hear, well, we heard limb snaps earlier on in the day before we even went to bed. But it turned into like a more like psychological kind of creep factor, because it was basically something was coming after both of us in our sleep. Like I was having sleep paralysis, which isn't, I've had sleep paralysis a few other times while camping, which is like kind of an odd place to have them. But, and then while I was having that, you were having your own night terror, but on a entirely different level. Like,
yeah, and you know, if you watch the episode, you can find it over at our channel on A Flash of Beauty, and we were hearing crazy stuff outside. Like, we captured rock throwing, these weird metallic pops that sounded like not rock throwing, but I don't know. To me, it kind of sounded like a Tesla coil popping as it's fluctuating energy, which
Okay,
I call these sounds energetic.
Well, stop right there, Tobe. Was it kind of that Tesla coil zip kind of sound, or I mean, can you try to imitate it?
Like a bullwhip, you know, like after it pops, that kind of whipping sound, that snap, like a hardcore.
Well, right, but it's that electrical snap.
Yes,
the electrical snap, but it's kind of a zip snap. Yeah. We just heard that. I didn't, but one of the guys early morning heard that at Snellgrove. And then what was weird, they heard a bigger one do it, that it was even louder and like more violent. And then the little one stopped doing it, that sound, which was really weird. So you're one of the first people I've ever talked to that's experienced this snappy electrical sound, and obviously we don't know what it is.
But the rocks don't have a secondary causation sound. They should hit the gravel. We're on a gravel bed. You should hear a rock hit the metal ream of, let's say, a pop-up tent, which is a theory. But Allie, you would agree, like, we didn't hear a secondary land.
Yeah, you didn't hear it fall to the ground.
And we caught that on video and audio. And then Allie has dealt with sleep paralysis periodically. I've never been with her when she's had it, but I've never had it. And let me tell you what, like, you don't want to have it, because it's horrifying to not have control when you're in trouble. I mean, it would be tantamount to being like, I don't know, like being given some kind of tranquilizer and you can't, leave, you're in trouble and you can't get out of it. And it just got worse from there, to the point where I had my first out of body experience where I was taken outside of the tent and I was kind of repositioned. Oddly enough, that seemed kind of, excuse me, the bell's tolling right now. Must be fine. So
this is what happens when you car cast. It's fine.
Real quick.
Next to courthouse here.
Oh, there you go. So they're coming.
Anyways, traumatic. It was traumatic, and we had to think about, you see me in the video, like, do a confessional to the camera, like, worst night of my life, 20 years later, and this mecca of Bigfoot, and I'm scared as wits. And so we'd have to decide whether or not we're going to stay.
I want you to get into a little more detail, though, guys. Back up and let's get into some more detail on what really kind of went down, what order, and so on.
You broke up a little bit. Say that again, Doug.
Yeah. What order did everything happen? Can you give us more details? Kind of walk us through that night.
Okay. Well, I mean, we pulled in and started setting up camp, and we would intermittently, like, turn on Starlink to kind of check in with people or try to go live. And it's funny, it seemed like during the day, if we turned on Starlink and we're looking at our phones, kind of distracted, there was kind of a gully below us behind the tent that we would hear stuff moving around. We'd hear stick breaks, maybe even a knock, but you could tell things were down in that gully, and it seemed to kind of spike up when we were distracted on our phones, which wasn't very often. And then, then we kind of just went into the nighttime, and that was, I would say, for me, the 2 sleep paralysis moments happened anywhere between like 11 and 1:30 in the morning. And the first one for me was, I felt my head getting touched, pressed down on. And then my second sleep paralysis, something was up underneath the rain fly, pushing through the mesh, touching and poking like this part of my arm, because I think I was sleeping with my arm up. And we captured that on audio. You kind of hear the sound I typically make to get me out of a sleep paralysis, and it's kind of like a whimper, cry out type of sound. And then I'm telling him, like, I think I just got poked. And I want to say, so then that happened probably around like 1:30, and we're up and we're listening. And in between this time, we're turning on our camera to record the amplified sound in the tent as well, which the task cam is recording outside. And then we have an aux cord running all the way inside the tent with a Bluetooth speaker to amplify what's going on outside and being recorded. So, and somewhere between like that 1:30 and maybe like 2 in the morning, we hear that weird coil crack kind of metallic sound. And it happens twice very loud. And then it happens a third time that is a little harder to hear. I remember hearing a third, and I think it's on that audio. But
we're also hearing like a disembodied kind of like moan periodically too, like a gaspy, like if you're imagining like a really bad ghost experience, that's what was coming up out of this hill. And then Allie and I find out that like a week earlier, the area where she's sensing that there is action going on, which is behind our tent where the potty shelter is, right? Like our backs are turned to it. This is apparently where these 2 women a week earlier were 53 feet away from 3 individual Sasquatches. So that's why we were directed there. It was a recent sighting. We're on this paranormal road trip, and we're thinking like, well, this is a trip of a lifetime, right? Like, you know, this isn't even like why we're on a road trip, by the way. We're on a road trip right now to film a very believable guy that saw a werewolf in the redwoods. And that's what we're doing. We're going to the redwoods to film this believable witness about this dogman encounter. And this trip to Bluff Creek was just like, well,
we might as well.
We're on our way to Jamestown, California. Let's swing by. And we had 4 days to waste for it, and there we went.
Did you I mean, what did you we have a huge delay, guys, so we're going to be stepping on each other because of the delay in the signal. It's probably about 4 or 5 seconds, so we got to just be patient. What did you experience, Tobe? Did you experience sleep paralysis? Any touching through the fabric of the tent? And then how did this all resolve?
The sleep paralysis was, you know, the sleep paralysis was painful psychologically. Like there is a gnashing of teeth that happened during this sleep paralysis moment. And I don't know if it was like me gnashing my teeth or me seeing teeth. It was like a vibrational state that came around me while I was sleeping. It was horrific. It's hard to even quantify or explain. Let's just say it was a nightmare. Fine. I, you know, had bad gas and I had a nightmare and whatever. Okay, well then the OBE happened after that. And then I was taken away somewhere and dropped off in this maze in a parking lot. It was probably even more scary than the sleep paralysis.
All right, well, you got to explain.
Well,
explain.
So yeah, this kind of stuff doesn't happen to me, right? Like I've had a really good experience sleeping with the phenomena. Let's just call Bigfoot the phenomena. I'm talking about all of it, ghosts, UFOs, all that stuff, right? Like I slept at the Al Moon Lab, super paranormally charged, like Skinwalker Ranch kind of place. But this place turned it all up on its head. It's just like, oh no, I'm in trouble. And so when I say I was taken out of my tent and put inside some maze, it was believable like that. Like whatever was happening was letting me know that I was going to be an unwelcome guest, and that they could take me out of my tent and drop me off in this empty parking lot, and I would be perfectly aware that I wasn't just dreaming. And so that is a terrifying sense. Like, if you don't think you're dreaming, if you think you're experiencing an alien reality, a living nightmare, like Freddy Krueger nightmare, once you get back to the real world, if you want to call it that, you're completely relieved and traumatized that you were taken away. So imagine you're abducted by aliens. Okay, that's what it felt like. Like, I was taken. And it was not to a spaceship, it was to like an empty parking lot.
Okay,
and,
but did you just wake up in this parking lot then? That's where I'm confused.
Yeah.
So you're in the tent,
Yeah,
and then
I mean,
you woke up in the parking lot.
Yeah, if Allie were to look over and see my body sitting in the cot, I would have been surprised, because that's how real this dream was. And so I know this doesn't sound Bigfoot related, but if you look into the idea of this being an overlap issue of, you know, elementals and UFOs and everything else that is experienced in these sacred zones, including Native Americans that may not want you there on sacred land, then maybe something like the trickster element would envelop your life very quickly. And the only thing I can think of here, and Allie and I talked about this afterward, is that I had a gun. And I had a gun. I usually keep the gun out in the car, but I had a loaded 9mm sitting by the cot for my own safety, for Allie's safety, right? Because we heard cougar chirp.
Yeah.
And I don't know what weirdos lurk up there. Like, we went up a road and we had some crackhead waiting at the beginning of one of the roads. So I don't know what's going on up in Bluff Creek at certain points. So maybe the gun, and Allie, you guys, whatever you think, it could be a possibility that that gun was a perceived threat, and that I was dealt with just like, okay, don't hurt our family unit here. We got little ones. We're going to mess with you first. I don't know. But it was a shock.
Okay, but I'm still confused, Tobe. Were you really out of the tent, or was it just a dream about being out of the tent?
Well, yeah. So for lack of argument, I was just a dream. Okay.
Okay.
But if you're abducted by aliens and taken away to a spaceship, you know, talk to someone like Jacques Vallée, and it's very similar to a dream state when you're abducted. Like, it's all the same thing. Like, physically, are you having an out-of-body experience? Or are you physically taken away and missing for a period of time? I don't know if we have all the answers on that. I've never experienced anything like this, so I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what happened.
So it's like a lucid dream, or I'm trying to think of some of the other terms for this kind of dream.
To it as an out-of-body experience. That it was more of something on a more of a spiritual plane rather than necessarily a physical one. You had said earlier that there were rocks that were hitting your tent, but then you didn't hear them hit the ground. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know, Allie, where they weren't hitting the tent.
No, what we were kind of trying to figure out is that weird, like, metallic pop sound, as if it was a rock being thrown at, say, like the canopy metal frame, which was like in front of our tent. But you can't hear anything hit the ground. But we had lots of rock throws around our campsite that you would hear going through the leaves and hitting multiple trees as it would come down. And those you would hear from a farther distance actually hit the ground. So that mystery pop sound is just like kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, you'd hear the small rocks sail at great distance and then land. And Allie, we edited those together so people can get an idea of the context of night 1 and night 2. But then we had this, the first time we went out with this $4,000 FLIR unit that's on loan to us, and we saw crazy stuff that was being recorded. we know it was being recorded because we edited the video and saw that it was recording. And the stuff would not put itself on the digital image of the FLIR. We both saw interesting stuff. It wouldn't record. Now, I have my own theory on why that is, but whatever is happening right now was letting us know who was in charge on night one. And so, yeah, it was daunting because we had 4 nights there, right? Like, well, all we had was Starlink and our Prius in the mountains, and we had a decision to make. I've never been so happy to see the sun come up in 20 years. And
wow,
it was, and I think we felt the same.
Yeah, I tend to think what we saw on the FLIR, especially what I saw, possibly could have been what was messing with us, because I don't know. I mean, it could have been Bigfoot stuff, but it seemed to have like darker, more manipulative type of
Oh yeah, it was a cold spot too, because it was white hot FLIR, and we both saw. The first thing I saw was basically underneath the PG marker sign that says PG Trail. It's like a famous little sign, and literally just to the left of it was a black burst of energy. So it was a cold energy source, right? Not like a bird or a bug. And then you.
But a burst of cold doesn't make sense,
No.
right? So I'm holding our Sony camera, and he's like, "Oh, I just saw something strange here, like a burst or flash." And so watch the screen. So we swapped. You took the camera, and I started watching the FLIR screen, and I'm watching in the same spot. We haven't moved it. And then I find, like, I see in the same area through the brush, maybe like 5 or so feet up, like it wasn't on the ground. It looked like a comet, like it had a round head, and then it had like a big tail that slowly tapered out like a comet would that you'd see, or something, like meteor shower almost type of thing, singular one. And it just shoots from right to left. And because I had that camera out and recording, we were able to confirm that the FLIR was actively recording. And we have like scrubbed and reviewed that footage so many times, and it's just gone. It's not there. It's not like nothing. It's so weird.
I've had that happen.
Well, let me interrupt for a second. Did you send Jeff any footage or any audio or anything from that night?
Yeah.
I got something for
Audio.
both of you here. What would you like me to play?
Can you tell Jeff what you want him to play, guys?
So
Do we have them accurately named?
So I think
Alicia's ours, Tobe's are not.
Or we can just reverse. We'll play something. You guys can describe what we're playing. How's that sound?
Okay. Play the Alicia sounds first, because those are topical to what we're discussing.
some are from where we live.
Yeah,
But
we should
PG
mention
site should-
some of the sounds that you're going to hear are from our cabin, right? Because the phenomena follows you. And so it was waiting for us when we got back, and it was actually there before we left. So, just play some of the Alicia sounds, and we'll put context to it.
So this one is called 720 Growls. Yeah. Oh, let me try that again. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is from our cabin.
Before we left.
The reason that that's interesting is it sounds a lot like what we got at the Al Moon Lab, a more refined, longer version of that kind of what I would call like a, I don't know. It sounds like a wet purr to me, like a cat or something.
Like a lion.
Yeah. Right. And so, we had a gal drive all the way from the Olympic Peninsula down to Cottage Grove, Oregon to investigate those sounds. Her name's Sonia Zohar. She's since passed. She's a brilliant resource on Bigfoot stuff. But, she was insanely interested in that sound only. And I think it's because it is a profound, different kind of sound. And I don't know if anybody else has heard it, but it sounds like a wet purrish,
Mm-hmm.
like a lion kind of sound, like before a roar.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
total vocal flexibility.
All right, what else do we have?
All right, this one's called 813 Language.
Allie, you wanna-
Super interesting.
So that's not y'all. That is that's noise that's being picked up outside the cabin. That's not y'all or anyone else running around.
No, and we actually, like, on a daily basis, I mean, we review our audio in the morning after recording the night previously, and then if we something like that, we will go to, you know, like Rich or whoever and say like, hey, was anyone awake or doing out and about last night? But we live,
Right.
I mean, we're like the house on the street we're on, and
It's so crazy. I mean, Doug, you can appreciate this. I have a girlfriend that listens to freaking paranormal audio first thing in the morning. Like, she wakes up, dude, and she puts herself in front of the laptop and listens to paranormal sounds before we do anything. I'm like, that's like the ultimate awesome, right? Like,
Well,
I
it
get
sounds
Like, to me,
it sounds like you guys are a good match. That's for darn sure. You're a good.
I don't know.
match.
I think she could do better.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So she
oh,
I don't think so.
she found those sounds, and you know, we have a landlord that lives across the driveway from us, and he knows what we're doing. In fact, the rumor is that this is the time of year the phenomena comes around the cabin, and I'll be damned if that doesn't sound a lot like what I would call percussive. I wish David Ellis was. I don't know if he's coming on, but it's a percussive.
He is here. Whoa.
Yeah.
David is here. David. Let's
Okay.
bring David Ellis on.
David, you ready?
That sounds like a transition to me.
And here he is. Welcome, David.
Hey.
Your wish
guys.
comes true. Your wish has come true, Tobe.
So you got percussive voice going on too, huh, Tobe? Hi, Alicia.
I know, man. What am I gonna do? Now I've got a girlfriend that is finding sounds quicker than me, but it's the fun continues, right?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting to me is unsolicited. You mentioned something that we're kind of following with the PER. I think you're aware of that. I've followed all sorts of different weird sounds, maybe making a connection to Sasquatch. I don't know, but what's interesting is that there is a humming sound also that I think caught you maybe referencing some sort of a buzzing sound that you had heard. And I'm not sure if it's part of that Tesla thing that you were talking about, but in your video at the 16-minute mark, you talk about a humming or a buzzing sound. So, as
Yes.
well, I
Yeah,
don't know
that
if you recollect.
That was like with the sleep paralysis moment. I think I was referencing hearing this incredible or feeling this incredible buzzing as much as hearing it. And there
Okay.
are colors involved, and it, much like a lucid dream. But you know how crazy all this gets, David. Like, it's hard to put it in the box.
Right. Jeff, I sent some audio your way. I don't know if you can play this clip. It's JAPG for John Andrews and Paul
Give me
Graves.
1 second here. I'll pull it right up.
See if this sounds a little bit familiar, Tobe.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
That's enough, Jeff. I think we kind of get the idea.
Oh yeah. That's
So I don't know, Tobe, does that sound familiar? Was it anything like that?
Yeah, that's really close to what I experienced up at Bluff Creek. Although we weren't able to capture that sound up there, Allie was making mention that we do capture that sound periodically at the cabin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that multiple
Well,
times.
what's interesting about this particular recording is that John Andrews and Paul Graves, they were camped in one of their favorite haunts, and for about 2 minutes something came into their camp and just trashed it. I mean, they could hear all kinds of pots and pans and things getting thrown and rocks being heaved, and it was just this kind of buckle up and hold on, I hope we can weather the storm. But then it stopped. And about 10 minutes later, Paul said he heard this particular sound, and John had actually recorded it. And Paul said that he kind of went into a trance to the point where he felt really, really comfortable. Like it was so soothing. He said it was one of the most restful sleeps he's had in a long time. And Doug and I have been kind of following this, and it seems that this particular sound of humming in people can induce a euphoria similar to a calming nature. And I'm just wondering if there was something that was maybe trying to calm you down.
Yeah. Well,
you got to think. You got to think opposite. You got to think opposite.
Right. Yeah.
By the way, look at the post I put up. Bigfoot Dwarf says we call it the Humboldt hum.
Oh, I like it. I like alliteration.
Yeah. Is that a term, Bigfoot Dwarf, that other people use, or is that something you just made up? Let us know.
So that's interesting. Because we've had, people have discussed for years the idea of lower sonic frequencies, being used, perhaps for predation or even some form of defense. We've, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, a friend of mine, he claimed that when he had his experience, that he had this sort of like he felt detached and things slowed down, like he was being affected. Is it? Are we hearing something like this when we hear this recording? Are we hearing potentially them generating these sonic, a sonic attack? Essentially, would be probably a layman's term, where you're using these sort of ultra low frequencies to affect how the brain is working in that moment. Maybe it's not necessarily calming per se, but rather disorienting. And if you're in a position to where, I'll just go to sleep because you don't really know what's going on, then you can go that way. Whereas if maybe you're fighting, it just sort of takes you out of that flight mode for a little, because your brain's trying to process it, because it's changing and affecting how your brain's processing. Is that possibly what we're hearing with that?
Yeah, it's a very good proposition and pretty good theory. We're just in the obviously collecting as many stories, as many incidences, as many recordings as we can. There was even a report that was filed with a newspaper out of Minnesota about a lady that went to the river to wash her clothes. This was 1934. And as she was washing her clothes, she heard what she distinctly remembers the sound of a hummingbird. And she looked up, and there was no hummingbird, but a 8-foot tall Sasquatch looking at her. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe that created that sound to alleviate any kind of a fear that the lady, because the Sasquatch was definitely there looking at it. And when she discovered it, she, had quite an experience. So
David,
we have an eyewitness. Yes.
I have a question. There's a lot of confusion on this. If something can it be broad spectrum, meaning it can be, you can hear it, but part of it could be an infrasonic?
Well, sure, absolutely.
Okay, a lot of people are confused on that, though. They think if it's infrasonic, no way you could hear it. You wouldn't hear the infrasonic part of it, but you may be able to hear the stuff above infrasound.
Infrasound is 20 hertz and below.
Right.
And this particular hum seems to resonate in around the 40 hertz, which is definitely within the range of hearing. It's just like a hummingbird. Hummingbird also resonates in this specific hertz as well.
Can I let me just ask a quick question?
Sure.
Are we possibly being misled because we're hearing the sounds and we're assuming that it's the sound that's being that's having the effect, right? Tobe mentioned earlier, having, while Ali's having sleep paralysis, he was having essentially an out-of-body experience during his encounter. Is it possible that this is not necessarily an instance of infrasound or some other form of sound attack or whatever, but we're dealing with something maybe even psychic or telepathic or supernatural, that we're looking for a physical component to this when we're actually dealing with maybe something more ethereal and less physical?
Good question. I don't know the answer to that one.
Well, darn it, David, what's the point of having you on here? Get rid of this bum.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, all right. Okay, we'll find somebody useful then, Doug.
Yeah, really. What's the matter with you?
So what I want to know is when you were hearing these kind of this vibration, this humming, and you're pretty sure that was connected to your feeling weird, right, Tobe and Alicia? You guys were feeling weird. And did you both feel weird at the same time? Or was this one at a time?
I think my sleep paralysis happened right before he had the kind of the terror dream thing. But I slept very deeply after that. So maybe I was the one that kind of got a trance sleep, and while you were having your night terror,
we don't know. And this stuff again wasn't recorded. It was more, it sounded kind of like Bigfoot activity, typical, what I would call energetic sounds introducing paranormal Sasquatch activity into existence. Because I don't think these things are just flesh and blood at all. I think they are the masters of both dimensions. They walk between two worlds. And when you hear these energetic sounds, that is an entry point for Sasquatch arrival and other things too, because the story just gets getting weirder with Bigfoot. And so whatever was happening up there was giving us a full spectrum of different phenomena. I don't know what freaked me out that night. I don't know what gave Ali sleep paralysis. But I do know that it subsided, because night 2 and night 3 were fine. I mean, they were eventful to some degree. We did experience the phenomena, we heard it, but we never were scared again. So it was almost like a test. I kind of feel like, okay, if you can make it through night 1, maybe we'll show ourselves or something like that.
Right. And you guys had sleep paralysis at different times. You didn't have it at the same time. It happened first to Alicia and then to you later, Tobe?
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, waking each other up with different stories and experiences through the night. And, we were excited, right? Like we had driven several hours to get there. So you don't necessarily want to sleep. You want to be doing your job of running FLIR and listening. And so you see us get up like at least 2 times, get the FLIR unit out, walk around like, is this a cougar? you know. But I don't think during the night were we really talking about sleep paralysis. We were talking about maybe hearing stuff and Allie getting poked. It wasn't until the sun came up that we're both just like, that was the worst night of my life. I don't know about you. And so that was, you know, what we captured on
Wait,
video.
you're young yet.
Do we have any other sounds, Jeff?
Got lots of them. What would you like to hear
Well,
next?
let's just, I don't know, David, you can call it out, or Jeff, just play something.
All right, we can go back to some Alicia's sounds here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So the next one on her list is called, did I play the chicken coop one? I think I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
The next,
this
did I play that one?
No, you have not.
Okay. So this one is called Chicken Coop 818. Give me 1 second. I'll pull this up for everyone.
Sounds like it's trying to imitate a rooster. Bad imitation. That's weird. Well, what are your thoughts on that sound, David?
Well, just exactly what you said. It sounded like something trying to imitate. I'd have to look at it before I could really comment to see what the visual tells me. But my ears tell me it sounds like something thought, hey, I can do a chicken.
What are your comments, Alicia? Alicia, what are your comments on that sound?
So, I hate to be a bummer, but it is a real rooster. However, we found over nights that something is banging on the chicken coop. It'll like that. We counted was I think like 9 times, like something just like bang, 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 and upsetting. This is happening in like between the 2 and 3:30 in the morning kind of times, waking up, and we got it 3 or 4 different times. Not always the same amount of banging sounds, but they're like harassing chickens or waking them up.
Well, my comment didn't age well. My comment did not age well at all when I said it's all like a fake rooster. Okay.
Well, they sound very odd, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some weird sounds of roosters. They're weird owl sounds. I don't know. Spectrogram, they're doing a pretty good job of imitating. Some of them sound too big, and it's always the volume, I think, that is the tell. And so
Well, Alicia, you could be wrong then. That may have been a fake.
Possible.
See. Now my comment is starting to age better now.
Or maybe the problem is you actually have like not chickens. And
you could have
that's maybe your problem. Like it's like you got 2 different things. It's like, yeah, we have a rooster full of chickens. They're not really chickens or something else, but whatever. So I'm helping you dig out of here, Doug.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's play another. Thank you.
All right.
Let's play another
from
clip.
Alicia.
You got any fog hat in there, Jeff?
I'll pull some up. So this one's called Girl EVP.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a thing.
That's a thing. What's
Tobe,
the story,
have you tried
Alicia?
to slow any of these down?
Not that one.
Doug recorded something interesting up at Snellgrove.
I sent it
voice.
to Tobe.
Very.
Did you listen to that, Tobe?
Yeah, of course.
What did you think?
I mean, you know what I think. I think you need to send me. I think that's, obviously you have that controlled lockdown environment. You're on a freaking island. You got to get there on a pontoon. What else is it other than a disembodied voice or a Bigfoot?
Yeah, it was weird. All right. So what's the story?
What's interesting about that, Doug, is when I purposely slowed it down like 2.5 times, and it sounded completely different. than what you hear at
Yeah.
normal speed.
Yeah.
And if you, the Ron Moorhead Sierra Sounds, where Scott Nelson says that they're talking at a faster rate. If you slow it down, it starts to make a little more sense to us. So I think that there's something to that.
Is
They're
it
speaking
possible?
at a faster rate?
Well, somebody brought up that maybe the beating is wings. Is that even possible?
Oh, yeah, no, that is a possibility that somehow it's knocking its feathers up against the barn. However, we have these giant power knocks, like, sonic Louisville slugger power knocks, mainly single ones that are unmistakable for typical Bigfoot activity coming. Given other two, I think they're coming in, slapping the landlord's house periodically, knocking on our windows, waking us up from sleep. And then when you get into the disembodied voices, that sounds like a little girl, by the way, that's saying up here. And I don't know where up here is. I don't know if I ever want to go meet the little girl up here. Maybe she got a treehouse waiting for us. But this is what exactly happened back in Cottage Grove, is that these window areas, we'll call them, are ripe for the supernatural and it's all its glory and all its horrors periodically. And I think that's what's happening here, is that call it the hitchhiker effect, or this is an old land, like this is an ancient homestead that goes way, way back and probably way
Right.
far back.
But Tobe, don't you admit, like I do all the time, we don't know anything.
Right.
We know nothing.
100%.
But it's fun trying to figure it out, right? Like talking to you guys, having someone in your life that doesn't think that you're a bother with all this stuff. But
Right.
all the things that's what life is about.
Right. No, it's awesome that the interest is there, and I'm so interested in this, as our audience is. Because of that, Jeff's going to play another clip.
Yep, this is the last one from Alicia. It is
okay.
called Shaman Shack Vocals. Here we go.
Here we go. Okay, we got it, Jeff. Yeah. I think it was repeating. What's the story on that?
Yeah, it wasn't repeating. Actually, it's about 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's a minute and a half long.
It's not repeating.
Nope.
It sounded like two individuals to me, like far away, kind of communicating in some.
Well, so to give this context, Allie and I were shooting an episode up near Nia Bay at a place called the Shaman Shack, owned by a guy by the name of Larry Buzzle and Anelia Benz. Mm-hmm. And they have a weekly retreat periodically. And so Allie and I went to shoot this retreat. They allowed us to stay on their property. And so we did what we usually do, is leave the recorder in a place where it's active. And that's the sound that was reciprocated at, the 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. We weren't there to experience it. But to me, it has the tonation of a female. I don't understand what she's saying. She sounds like she's probably across the creek. And it has all the trademarks of like it being in the 1,000 below hertz. It's all linear. It never stair steps up. It has a conversation with whoever, and it sounds kind of gripey. Like it sounds like a gripey woman.
I've heard
Careful.
similar things at night at Snow Grove. You know, it's interesting.
It definitely sounds primate.
So, David, do you have any
Yes.
Tobe sounds that you want to play?
Actually, no. I've just I had another topic, but it's not pertinent, and I think it would be distracting. So I just want to stick with that hum.
Well, what is it?
and the-
What is it? What is it? No, we're open. We're open for something new here. What is it? Is that the
it's
warble?
Yeah, right.
Go ahead and play it. Interesting.
Which one, David? You got 3 here that say warble.
Let's go the last 2 Laughing Critters. Both of those are kind of good.
Okay.
And they were recorded on Hartstein Island in Puget Sound.
Okay, give me 1 second here. Oh, I had the wrong one. I'm sorry. Hold on. Try this. It's just looping now.
That is so weird.
That sounds almost human.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's
Like the
kind of why I thought it was suspicious.
Except what human's going to make that sound? Oh, gee.
You've never been to Walmart, sir.
Oh.
Apparently.
Oh, well.
But it's sort of like so.
Yeah.
Again, the previous thing that we got from Tobe and Ali, it sounded almost not exactly, but very similar to howler monkeys, right?
Yes.
If you've ever,
That's what I thought
you
too.
have
It
that
sounded
sort of-
very primate. It sounded very monkeyish.
Whereas this sounded much lower, almost because again, when most primates, again, howler monkeys are the ones that come to mind the most often. You can do it with gibbons too. They tend to go higher pitched, but this sounded
Well, it
much
had all
lower.
that. It had all that vibrato. You know, the
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah, it's like someone's trying to vocalize and like pulling on their throat or something while they're doing. Like it sounded far more human than
Yeah.
a lot of some of these others. But that's very weird.
So, what
Does
are your
anyone-
thoughts, David, on that? On those warble sounds?
You know, it's just a category that I have a collection of sounds from across the country that sound similar to that. So that's why
Yeah,
it
I've got
became
another
a
one
thing
here, too.
for me to follow.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
why
I
we're
don't-
playing it.
Yeah, I
Because-
don't know where it's going. It could be like that the Hum Buzz Per thing where we play it here and then we get 7 or 8 people go, I got that recorded.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is
that's why I
either,
wanted
but
to
I
play it.
recorded it.
Yeah, Kenny
so-
Hess says dual air sacs, maybe. So
Are there
Well-
any reports of monkeys being let loose in Northern California, Pacific Northwest?
no, don't go
No.
there. That's not.
I don't know.
Jeff, bad
I
Jeff.
hate that when people go, "Oh, there's monkeys that are
Well,
loose."
no, I'm just
Yeah.
asking. I have no
Did
idea.
a
I mean,
gorilla? Every time there was Bigfoot sightings the old days, they'd go, "A gorilla escaped from the zoo."
well, that's unlikely, but I can
I'm
see
like,
some.
"Oh God, please."
Well, or a preserve, where they take in cast off primates. I don't
Yeah.
think we have anything like that.
I haven't heard
that
any
could-
stories like that at all. I was just asking.
No.
All right, Tobe.
It's
and
California.
Alicia,
I can
what's
see
the
strange things in California?
weirdest experience you guys have had?
Oh boy.
What's the strangest experience you guys have had?
Well, together,
Yeah, together or separately.
I
You
mean,
don't.
let's see here. The strangest thing had to, at least for us, be, in my opinion, Bluff Creek,
Mm-hmm.
because it was so unexpected, and I expected to be totally Bigfooter going to Disneyland, right? Bluff Creek, but it turned out to be way bizarre. So that caught me off guard with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, we crowdfunded a way to get a witness to come down from Washington with us to the Redwoods to show us where he had a werewolf sighting, to make a documentary about what happened to him and how it's affected his life. And I haven't followed up on dogmen or werewolves or any of this stuff here. He called it a wolf man or a werewolf. He got 2 photos of it, so we're able to recreate it. And so for me, like having a new mystery, even though it's one like this, was really, you couldn't have had a better witness to see this thing, like a professional hunter. We sat down with other professionals from the area and talked about the photo, the area, the lay of the land, and we're able to find out the measurements. I'll save those for the release date of this here, but what do you think of that?
Yeah, and the redwoods are wild. They were eerily, like, a thickness to them. I don't really know how to describe it.
So dense.
Like, it just felt dense. I don't know how else. Yeah.
Can you relate the story of what happened or no?
Yeah. In fact, there's an episode out that's entitled Howl, HOWL, and we can't film the guy for obvious reasons because it's a small community up here. And but yeah, so he wanted to go see where George Lucas had filmed Return of the Jedi in the Jedediah National Forest on the Smith River. And so he went to the spot in Stout Grove, and a historic, landmark for people that want to see the redwoods up close and personal. And on May 17th, around 5:00, 2017, he was like the only person, aside from, possibly others, but very sparse at that point in time. The redwoods clear out, by the way, is when the sun goes down, tourists leave. And so here comes Mark, that's his name, at 5:00 by himself to see where the Ewoks roamed at one time, and Chewbacca, and instead heard this tremendous roar. And you pick it up from there.
Well, I think he was just past like the Fork area, not very far in, and he heard the roar, and then there was he started to back up. He was kind of looking around, and he spotted some big black figure in the distance, and he just started snapping pictures, and like wasn't really quite paying attention because he first thought it was a bear, but then he looks back and realizes, oh, that's not a bear. It has like pointed ears on top and a longer snout, and he said it was giving him kind of, wasn't he describing like kind of human emotion almost?
Yeah,
like,
it profiled him. It looked at him. It sized him up. And
yeah.
So we went back to the spot with the witness, crowdfunded the whole thing. If anybody's watching this interview here, you have one hell of a documentary coming your way, first of all, with this whole thing. But thank you for everybody that pitched in, because we couldn't have made it down there and made all this happen. It takes money to film something like this. And so I couldn't believe it. People were just like following us online and totally supporting us. And we had we're in our Prius right now, which we've lived in for 17 days filming. And it was decked out. Allie had hand painted it with a marker. And so we had aliens and Bigfoot and werewolves all over the car and barcodes so we'd have people driving along I-5 scanning our QR code. And then all of a sudden my phone would light up with, $20 or $10 or sometimes even more. And so we're able to crowdfund this documentary through the kindness of others. But people were really supportive over things that they either can't do themselves and they want to experience it through you, or if they seem like you're honest. You don't even have to be good. Like Allie and I are not like really good filmmakers, but we're honest, and we have chemistry, thank God. And so I think people responded to that. And I should mention too that as far as crowdfunding is concerned, there's only 3 days left for people to be a part of another documentary coming out that we're a part of called Voices in the Wilderness, the story of not only Ron Moorhead's experiences, but the entire lineage of the people that are in the high Sierras. 3 days left to be a part of history. You can go to Voices in the Wilderness at Kickstarter, and for as little as $25, you can have your name in the credits. And if you want to push us over the line, you can be a part of the production team. But just a sidebar, that's also in the works. But
yeah, that's Brent and Jill Eichenberger, right?
That's Brett and Jill's baby, yeah. And
Yes.
so, yeah, I mean, but without Brett and Jill, I would have never had the opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And think that I could pull something like that off with Ali. So it just inspired us to do stuff like this.
Yeah, we just posted the Kickstarter campaign up.
Thanks for doing that.
It's in chat, and we can throw it in our show description.
There may be if you take a look at the photos I sent you, there's a guy by the name of Tobe Johnson. He was one of the youngest people up at the camp in the 60s and 70s. His father was one that found the camp, him and his brother. And David was up there before, Ron had found out about the camp. So we got David actually to go take the stage for the first time on this paranormal road trip in the little town of Jamestown, California. And if you bring up that picture of the guy holding the monster Bigfoot track, that's Tobe Johnson holding an actual one-of-one Sasquatch track that is as big as his chest. It must be 18 to 20 inches.
Yeah, it's massive. I've seen the photos. It's crazy. I don't know what to make of it, but I wouldn't want to run into anything that could be that big, or that was that big. If that's a track, it's nuts. It's pretty nuts. And there'll be a lot of new information in this doc about Ron, about their experiences, as I understand it. It's the first time it's ever been done, a whole doc just devoted to Ron.
Well, so it's really taken on a life of its own out to the other players that were up there and still are up there experiencing stuff, because this story doesn't die, in the 70s and 80s. It just so happens that there's other stuff to talk about that was unexplored. If you go and watch a Flash of Beauty, the YouTube channel, you can meet some of these other players that are slowly getting involved with this community. And there's other people that need to be invited to the Bigfoot table that haven't been, like for example, Brett just interviewed who's the guy that started Project Blue Book? I'm blanking right now. You guys know the story of Project Blue Book, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hynek, Alan Hynek.
Yeah. So Brett just interviewed J. Allen Hynek's son about cloaking technology. I don't know anybody who's ever interviewed Joel Hynek, but they did. And what he has to say about some of the videos that purportedly show Sasquatch cloaking, I think will surprise people. And that comes from a voice that knows about special effects, because Joel Hynek won an Oscar for the movie Predator. He invented the Predator effect. So who else are you going to talk to about the Predator effect than the guy that got an Oscar? And so that's what we're trying to do with Flash, is like bring new voices to the table. And Ali and I are kind of the freshest, newest voice to the Flash team. And, we're just kind of running and gunning with our cameras right now, but we're learning and we're getting better equipment. And I think that earnestness and that honesty quality is coming across. And I think that's why people are taking notice.
So do you guys agree on what you think Bigfoot is?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. We don't even need to say.
Yeah. Well, as things happen, we kind of immediately are agreeing on like, oh, what was that? Oh, yeah, sounds like this, or that. I mean, we're kind of in the same headspace as far as how the activity comes, how they actually engage with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is interesting where a person can go out and have an experience of the rocks and the sounds and the experience. It's kind of like almost expected when you do it enough. I'm always let down when nothing does happen, but it's more often something does, and that's weird. It is weird. I do find that odd. I've not drawn any conclusions. Have you guys ever heard, or have you heard, Tobe, what we call a thunder knock?
Well, I don't know it by that name, but it's probably...
Well, just a really almost explosion. Like it's so loud that it's like you can almost feel it versus just hear it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah. I mean, I think we caught some on audio at our cabin.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, these are really close contact, what I would call power knocks, thunder knocks, whatever. I don't think they're wood knocks at all, because Blaine wouldn't be getting EMF spikes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something else
Right.
here energetically with the phenomena, to the fact that it's either able to mimic what's happening or it's able to introduce a shift in matter as it comes. And that's why I really push everybody to go read Dr. Simeon Hines' book, Dark Matter Monsters, on what's going on with these things called relic neutrinos. And it's Dr. Simeon Hines that's bringing forth the science behind the paranormal. It just so happens that there's a whole section of top secret knowledge based upon physics that we're not read into that talk about these things called relic neutrinos. And they are the orbs. They are these energetic sounds. They're variable states of energy that, we've been experiencing and playing off as different phenomena. The bell goes again. But I think it's all related.
Have you ever heard a really loud knock, David, where it's just like, what in the world?
Yeah, as you know, I call them power strikes.
Yeah, everybody's got their own
That
name.
was the term that was introduced to me when. Yeah. But it's essentially the same thing. I liken it to hearing two telephone poles being smashed together.
Yeah, that's how Chris Reinhardt.
One of the recordings I got.
That's how Chris Reinhardt described it up at Snell. He said it was like two telephone poles getting smacked together at high speed.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
I recorded one.
I'm sorry, I'm stepping on you because the delay.
No.
I hear a big
That's
pause
okay.
and then I talk and then it's not a pause. Do you have any recordings of those like big power knocks?
Yeah, not at a quick disposal.
Oh,
I
okay.
could find some, but yes, I do. And even you could probably include the Louisville Slugger. A lot of people call it that, where it's two baseball bats being hit together. Heard that, recorded that numerous times. But the one that got me was the witness that heard something running through the woods and striking, or you would think that it was striking trees because it was making the wood knock sound. But what was interesting to the witness was it was the same identical sound, which, as you know, as you run the forest, you can't go and hit two trees and make them sound the same.
Right.
So that's where I kind of came to the notion that they are creating these percussive sounds through various other means. So I think that they can do mouth pops, tongue clicks at a very loud sound. So
And Tobe, and you guys are in the camp where you think it's just something almost technological, correct?
No,
Like
well, I would say it'd be highly supernaturally charged. And this is what paranormal investigators have been describing for a long time, are these weird clicking sounds, popping sounds, like wave distortions of energy being displaced. So I mean, if it is just vocalizations doing this kind of stuff, we're not giving them credit enough for their vocal flexibility to do it, because they're doing everything under the sun. And it's, you know, these sounds can kind of they're so off-putting because they're so unexplainable. Like the Tesla coil whip sounds that Allie and I heard, they didn't remind you of anything that would be done vocally,
right?
But otherworldly.
So otherworldly sound versus a physical banging of anything together is kind of what you're saying. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we're all coming to our own kind of conclusions, or theories, I guess. And I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised at either way. But how in the world can we investigate such things? That's the problem.
Doug, you need to start developing that Spookatron 5000.
The Spookatron 5000.
That's all I'm saying, right? Because I mean that's the problem, right? If it's supernatural, we really don't have a way to observe this phenomena, in a reliable setting. In fact, that's one of my complaints with my paranormal friends. I'm like, when they'll say, "Oh, well, we have the K2 meters, we have these things." I'm like, "Well, that's great. And we should have them. In fact, we need to start introducing Geiger counters and some of these other technologies far more into all of this, because I have the sneaking suspicion there's something else. There's other phenomena going on that we may just be cramming into the same box."
Well, see, Alicia and Tobe, you guys would be the perfect couple to get a Geiger counter and an RF meter. They're not expensive anymore. You could probably get both for $30. Both of them, total $30.
Doug's got coupons.
Yeah, but I would be interested. I mean, you guys would be the ones that should be using an RF meter and Geiger counter to see if those things change. My son Blaine, who you know, Tobe, he tried it one time, and the RF meter they heard a wood knock and it spiked, and it stayed there like all night, and then in the morning the sun came up and went back down to normal.
Now, was it an EMF?
An EMF meter.
Yeah.
It records any of it. It records EMF, all different types of EMF from AC, DC, alt, it didn't matter what it was. And they tested it all the way driving north through towns, and it hardly did anything even when exposed. But when they got up there, they heard the wood knock and it just spiked. And I have not heard anybody else try to repeat that experiment. So, Tobe, you need to.
Well, now that we get, we get wood knocks on the regular.
Yeah.
We don't, we haven't broken it out yet. We should have, but how many people have gotten EMF spikes at a Mets game? This is the question. Is just like whatever's happening right now. If Blaine recorded that, that could be duplicated again. And if we can duplicate that, then we have a different theory on what's happening here with these wood knocks, because I just don't think there can't be a lot of sightings of Bigfoot hitting the side of a tree. I don't know if there's any video.
Somebody in chat said they did witness it, but the chat's going by so quick I didn't have time. I put it up for a second. Anyhow,
well,
my favorite story regarding percussive sounds is Cliff Barrickman had a witness tell him that he saw a Sasquatch hit a tree with a stick to create the wood knock sound, and he got a kind of a Cheshire grin on his face, and he said, "But I also have 3 witnesses that saw them clap their hands to make the wood knock type sound."
Interesting.
So you have, I'd say that there's numerous ways that they can make these sounds, and they utilize all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be. Maybe they just whacked the side of a tree with their mitt. I mean, I don't know, but
So Dean,
Yeah, I was about to say,
Dean
Dean's out
Bertram
there.
just put up a comment. He said, speaking of wood knocks, last night after Talking Weird, after he did his podcast on this network, he said, I was on my front porch with my girlfriend. We heard a very strange, loud growling in the woods. It whooped, and then we got a wood knock back. Or he whooped, and then got a wood knock back. So there you go.
wait, we have a fresh story here. I want Allie to relay. I'm kind of giving a cold call here. She just told me a crazy story. I think you guys will appreciate this.
Yeah,
about
please.
your mother hearing so her mother is into this as well, and she heard some rock clacking at a coastal campout near Wickiup. Tell that story about the deer.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. Okay. So my mom called me this morning and told me about a recent camp out where she went with more family, but they kind of left early to go back to work and things. And she stayed behind in her travel trailer. And she said I think the first or second night by herself, she gets up to use the restroom in the middle of the night and she's hearing rock clacking about maybe like the size of my fist or so, like just clacking rocks together, happening in two different, like one's happening off to the left and one's happening off to the right. And then she said the moment that she kind of poked her head out to see if she could see it, because I think there was maybe enough full moon to illuminate the area, she said it just went silent as soon as she tried to investigate. And then she said that the next day a deer came by and stopped in front of her screen door, and she said it like instantly just kind of stared at her in this like, I'm gonna look into your soul, like intimidation stare down. And she said that they locked eyes and this deer would not look away from her, like they were just like in this stare down basically. And so she was creeped out by it. Like she's like, we've been around deer all the time, and like small towns where they come up close to you and stuff, and she's like, I've never seen a deer do that. And it was a doe, but she didn't have a baby with her. It was all alone. But she says that she started to talk to it because she was trying to make it less creepy, for herself. And this deer, she said, like purses one side of its lip and like growls at her. And then her little dog comes up. He's like a little, like dachshund mix, and he starts barking, and finally it just scares off. But she said, that's the freakiest thing that's ever happened to me. She's like, I'm not sure that was a deer. So yeah, I don't know.
What is it with all the deer stories today?
I don't know.
Doug, what did you do?
I don't know. Ever since I heard the word nigger, I'm all over it.
We got
so the deer growled.
Yeah, she said it made a weird, like kind of low growly grumble sound at her, like as if it was pissed off or something. I don't know.
David, comments?
Deers will huff.
Yeah, I've heard that. Kind of a huff.
They blow. They do kind of a siren blow.
The deer blow. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She described it kind of like, Sly Stallone style, like,
yeah.
Right.
I was in South Dakota filming wild turkeys once early in the morning before the sun came up. I'm trying to get some wild turkey shots, and a deer stuck his head in the blind, put his nose to my nose, and stared into my eyes, and we're just staring at each other. And I'm just like, 3-4 minutes go by, and he hasn't moved, and I haven't blinked. And all of a sudden, I did blink finally, and the deer screamed. Like, it just got the total crap scared out of him. That was such a weird experience. Anyhow. So, yeah, deer, that was loud. Yeah. Animals
but,
do weird
to be
things.
like animals for spirit contact, and this comes up with giant owls. It comes up with other animals as well. Owls and deers are big ones, though. And, we chronicle a guy by the name of Jack that swears that he saw a Bigfoot turn into a deer, an albino deer, or was it the other way? And, you hear this again, and especially from the First Nations people that talk about the reality of shape-shifting. And it's something that we can't really wrap our minds around, the fact that things have a variable state. But again, they seem to. And that's a part of the Voices in the Wilderness story, is Bigfoot's walking behind trees, turning into white wolves. And I just don't think that we should pat the First Nations people so quickly on the back and say that's a beautiful story, but it can't be true. I think that these things can be true, and these are questions that we have to tackle with probably spiritually and philosophically, and maybe down the road when we get to those areas and agree on those, we can get to the science behind it. But when you have someone like Jay Stratton, who started like the whole ATIP program for OSAP and all these secret military programs looking into UAPs, and a guy like Jay Stratton comes up to your table or out in the parking lot in this case and basically says that we have the science right based upon what Dr. Simeon Hein is saying theoretically, that Bigfoot is a part of these variable states, like something tantamount to these relic neutrinos. And I just think that the larger conversations, the audience is ready to have this conversation. We just need to bring it to them. And I think it's plain to see, based upon the fact that you can't go to a Bigfoot conference without it being a galactic conference. There's no more Bigfoot conferences. They're all paranormal conferences. And I know that ticks off a lot of apers, but we're at that time right now. We're converging phenomena, right? Like you can do it screaming or however you need to do it for yourself. But the phenomena right now is converging. And
it's interesting. Just hang on a second, Tobe. A gentleman just commented, hello all. Sorry, but I just struggle with all the woo aspects. Said to go along with it. And so for me personally, I'm just open-minded. I'm into the flesh and blood. I'm working on all sorts of physical things now, but to not give people a voice where they've had great, experiences that have freaked them out, I think is wrong. We need to give everybody a voice. So that's my stance. So what?
Well, and we may be actually, and again, this is something I've talked about a lot. We may be actually, one of the problems we may have is that we're cramming multiple phenomena and putting it into one box.
Exactly.
That may be one of the other issues here, is that we have multiple phenomena and everyone's trying to make it one thing.
Yep.
Shape-shifting supernatural entities is a cultural universal. Every culture has some version of these other entities that we share a planet with that can shapeshift, and they interact with us in different ways. Every culture has some version of the wild man. And sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't. It may be that the problem is we are trying to slap a sticker on everything, and that's why we're getting confusion.
Yeah. Well, okay. As an example, okay. So we went up to Snow Grove. I'm just a flesh and blood guy, and I'm not looking for any kind of paranormal anything. But yet, everybody up at Snell had a very major close-up red orb sighting up there, and I always happened to have my back turned as it would zip by or whatever. But I'm not going to lie and say, well, it didn't happen, just to make, that it would hurt research. I don't think that's right either, to lie, to go, oh, it didn't happen. Another guy said he saw a portal open up at Snow. Well, I didn't see it, but I'm not going to lie and say he didn't say that and didn't see it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't believe in the cover-up either, of these stories. Mm-hmm. Because especially when they happen to people I trust. I've seen red orbs up at Snell. I don't necessarily connect them to the Bigfoot mystery, but they could be connected. How the hell do I know? You know, I had known nothing. And that's just kind of my attitude about it. We don't know anything about anything. Like nothing. We don't even know anything about the forest. We think we do. We don't know anything. What percentage, Tobe, would you think we know about the actual forest and how it operates and what it does? What
I don't know.
percentage?
I mean, it's fun to. I don't know the percentage, Doug, but I think we do know.
No, I know
stuff.
you don't, but
Yeah, I mean, but to your comment, I think we do know stuff about this phenomena that we've been too embarrassed to talk about. And what we're trying to do here in our small way here, humbly, is push a door open to talk about these stranger issues. And so you don't have to leave your brain at the door to do it, right? Because there's a science behind this. There's a whole propaganda team kind of narrowing the topics for you as you decide what you're going to be interested in. And I think that now's the time, because of all this UAP disclosure stuff, to look into these issues. We do know a lot about this, actually. And this is why this is happening. You talk about the red orbs being above.
Well, but Tobe, you made a statement. We know a lot. No, we don't know anything. The government may know, but I personally don't know. I mean, I hear dits and dits and dits, but nobody has actually disclosed what we know in full. So personally, I just know we live in. I know we live in an amazing world. That I do know.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because of the ridicule factor, though, Doug. And I think that it just depresses me that we would go on another 20, 30 years embarrassed to talk about things like red orbs. Now, I mean, you see the undoing of the BFRO narrative bit by bit, talking about these things, because there's this door that's being opened up regarding this UFO topic. And the overlap and the convergence of all these issues is happening right before your eyes at all these Bigfoot conventions, because you don't have Bigfoot conventions anymore. I wouldn't imagine that you would have a very I don't know. There's a lot of paranormal conventions happening.
Sure.
That Bigfoot convention.
Well, the fact the government has pretty much confirmed UFOs are real, UAPs are real, whatever, that does open the door a bit to talk about all this stuff with less embarrassment, right?
And they are
it has opened
very
the
heavily,
door.
And they're leaning very heavily into the interdimensional aspect.
Yeah, they are. So
very
that's
heavily.
So I don't think the door is closed as much as it has been. It's getting wider and bigger.
Another thing that helps is no matter what you're into right now, you can find a community that's into that. I don't care how weird it is or how fringe it is. Mm-hmm. You can find other people pretty easily that are into it. So that's got to help too. People that are really
and there's a
listening.
cosplayer. And there's a cosplayer for it too.
Yeah.
We're furries on the week.
It's true.
I love that you took it.
Anyway, just injecting a little humor. But we live in interesting times, and I just want to thank David Ellis publicly for taking on some of these weirder sounds from our story at the Al Moon Lab, because he was kind enough to help me understand the program Audacity and how to move forward with reviewing sounds. And now Allie's taken upon herself based upon what you taught me, David, and now it's so fun to watch somebody learn that there's this hidden universe of sound happening. And I can't get enough of recording every day. Like, we're gonna go home tonight, buy our back drain, and set out the recorder again.
Yeah. What amazes?
What gets fun is when you.
Sorry, David. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, what's fun about learning how to look at sounds visually is you get to recognize the oddities real quick, because you can figure out what, that's a sound I know. That's the wind. That's a sound I know. That's a creek. Those are owls. Those are coyotes. You learn to understand real quickly, so you can get through hours and hours of audio very quickly. I can do an hour's worth of audio in about 5 minutes if there's really nothing going on. But
That's
when you
cool.
do find something, that's worthwhile, then you dig deeper. So that's how I end up with all these weird sounds. People go, well, how does he end up with all that weird stuff? Because that's what I'm looking for.
Well, with David, you're always just so open-minded about everything, and then you dig into it, and you're willing to spectrograph it, and compare it, and do your work. You don't discriminate.
No.
And I like that. We like that. So, all right. So what do you think is going on? What's the ultimate? Okay, so if Bigfoot is whatever, paranormal, interdimensional, what is its purpose? Everything has a purpose. What's its purpose?
All right, Allie, this is your question.
Oh,
You got to answer it for us right now.
Yeah, instantly.
Gosh.
That's a tough one. I know, but what do you think its purpose is?
I mean, I can see it kind of like from the spiritual perspective of being a protector of the forest or something. People talk about that, or like native lore, and I could see that. I don't have anything super definitive in my head, but all I know is I think that they're tapping into a weird frequency or like dimensional thing or consciousness thing that other weird stuff is tapping into. Or it's like, I'm not saying that they exist within the same, but like it's like their abilities seem to be on a similar plane. Like they're tapping into something that connects it in an odd way, and I don't know what to make of it.
Well, I was just wondering, why do you think they're reaching out to us, or you guys? Why were they doing that? Were they doing it to scare you? Were they doing it for humor? Were they doing it to learn about you guys? Were they doing it? You know what I mean? What is their? You kind of wonder what their purpose is.
Yeah.
Like Allie and I right now we think we're being punished for talking about them. Like we had the discussion today, like, do we need to go apologize? Because we played some sounds that may have ticked them off that were new. Before that, we were playing whale sounds, right? Like, if you want to have a wild experience, dude, go out in the Pacific Northwest and bark some whale sounds out in the woods. It's eerie. And that's when we got the vocals. That's when we got the language from the cabin. And then so much with the phenomena is you just keep on taking more and more off the limb, and you want to push the envelope. And I think maybe we pushed the envelope too much and played some sounds.
But why would that? Okay, but once again, I like to fish. I'm fishing. Why do you think that would make them mad? For what reason? We don't even know what they want. We don't know what their purpose is. We don't know why they're making contact with us. Why are they banging on the house if they don't want to be found?
Has anybody dug into the telepathy tapes?
Yes. Oh God, yes. Yeah. I've had long discussions on that. Just to bring people up to speed, autistic people seem to be people on the spectrum seem to be gifted. There's stories that they like even all telepathically meet in a certain place, which is really weird, where they're exchanging information. There's a lot of evidence that they're highly telepathic, like really telepathic. And there's also evidence based on people like Christopher Noel, who brought up the autistic theory that Bigfoot seem to have, they exhibit Bigfoot, or they exhibit autistic traits, right? Hiding, drumming, stimming, swaying, just a lot of reported behavior, organizing sticks. and so the theory has been thrown out there that Bigfoots are telepathic. Of course, that goes back forever, where people have been claiming they've had telepathic contact with Bigfoots, right? So it just seems to kind of fit, so it's fun to talk about it. I don't know, I don't know what you're going to say about it, but go ahead, Tobe.
I just think that it's related to how they deal with certain types of consciousness. And so people like Allie, who may be targeted because she's more open as someone who's, able to deal with the spirit realm quicker than a knuckle dragger like myself. Or we go back to Daryl Adams, who seemed to be marked by the phenomena. He lived in a haunted house previous to moving to the Al Moon Lab. Certain individuals tap into this energy. And these people in the telepathy tapes, they bond with certain parents and siblings quicker than other ones. They don't know why, but they know they're telepathic. And they say crazy stuff. Like you said, they say, like, we meet others in this area and we experiencing this phenomena not through their eyes as though we're able to see through their eyes. We're experiencing it all at once. And I think that's what Bigfoot is doing. That explains so much of how they're able to have this omniscience. And this gets into, philosophical discussions and spiritual discussions really quickly about the nature of
it does. It does, but there's just, we need to at least try to come up with theories like why do they bang on the side of my cabin if they don't want to be found? What are they doing? Why are they throwing rocks if they don't want to be found? Are they reaching out to communicate with us? Are they just PO'd at us for doing the destruction that humans do? Are they, we can go on and on. But very few shows or people ever talk about those things. What is their purpose? I mean, I know what the purpose is of a fish. It eats, it poops, it fertilizes the lake so other small creatures can live. It's a chain. But if Bigfoot's just paranormal, what is it doing? Is it maybe learning about us? Is that its only purpose? Is it just trying to make us believe in it? I don't know. I mean, just my brain races. Like, what are the reasons?
Take Henry Franzoni, who also passed, another Washington native. You can watch his video too on the channel. One of the last words that he talked about, one of the two interviews called Henry Dropped a Bomb. It's a 2-part interview. He talks about being disclosed by certain elements of the government that basically told him that Sasquatch are the inventors and that we're the worker bees for their inventions, that they're basically the brains of the operation going on underground, and that they live underneath the calderas of the earth, and that the greatest concentration of Bigfoot is in Washington, D.C. These are all his extraordinary words. So, I mean, do I have extraordinary evidence of Henry's claims? No, but it drags us in an interesting conversation. So there's no shortage of explanations about what Bigfoot is. I just don't think that there are some big, dumb, relic hominid that we're lucky to see. There's something else going on.
It may be that the ecosystem they're a part of, Doug, is one that we don't interact with directly either. Right.
That's a good little little niche theory. I always wonder, what is the purpose of the things that we're experiencing? There's a reason for it. Everything has a reason. It's not just, somebody had mentioned they've been here, I think Northwest Native Tracker mentioned they've been here millions of years, but what have they been doing? They obviously don't build anything. I don't know of any written oral history they have. I'm just not aware. I just want to know. I'm not making fun of the topic. I just want to know what is it. That's all. And then Amy, by the way, said, as someone with autism, it's called The Hill. Yes, I remember that. And yes, it's a real place that we go to when things are too loud. Thank you for letting me share. So there you go. So thank you, Amy, for sharing your comment. That was very nice. What a great world we live in, right? And I really applaud, like, you guys are just out looking to get experiences and answers, but think about all the people that seem to just blow everything off, right? They just eat, sleep, go to bed, get up, work, and I don't blame them for that, but they're not really on a search for answers and experiences. So
curiosity about the
curiosity.
world.
How, I mean, are you guys, how would you say, has your curiosity enhanced your life? That's the question. Has your curiosity enhanced your life?
Yeah.
And
I
how?
mean, kind of driving force. We were just talking about this the other day. Is like, like a normal life sounds so boring to us, and we're like, it's believing that there's something beyond us, beyond like what we know, that is kind of being playful with you and engaging sometimes and sometimes not. I mean, like, it's a little addicting, you could say, but it's also like, it just gives, for me, like, hope that, I don't know, that there's something to look forward to, that one day there might be more answers, not like the total like answer, but more to it. It just like makes you want to continue on, and it's just amazing to have somebody to do that with, experience that journey together, like the curiosity.
And this would have been really tough to do in the 90s. There was no platform for this, and we would have been way bigger outcasts. Now we're kind of like, it feels a little mainstream, like what we're doing right now. But you know,
and trust me, Tobe, it's weird what you're doing. You're in a car and you're broadcasting. It's, you know, what could be better? By the way, Northwest Native Tracker said living in harmony with our world, and they do write and have oral history. So I don't know about the latter, but one of their purposes could be to set an example for mankind that you don't need anything, that, you know, they are living in harmony. That we'll all agree with, right? They do live in harmony.
Yeah. I've often thought that what the Sasquatch are a safety valve for if the human experiment fails.
That's another good niche theory. Yeah, I mean, you know, you have to think of those things. I mean, am I the only idiot that that has questions like that? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. Yes, thanks, Jason.
Absolutely, 100%. You are.
Don't open yourself up like that, Doug.
Oh, God. I am an idiot, but I am curious, and I do wonder, and I do think about this stuff. Like, what is the purpose?
That's why I can't sleep at night. I have horrible insomnia, and that's why my brain is always thinking about stuff.
Yeah.
British baking, the British baking show, sir. Put that on. Set your sleep timer to sleep for 3 hours. You'll be good.
Curiosity is a curse, but it's also one of the biggest blessings, because, you know, my curiosity of Bigfoot, I think, has enhanced my life tremendously. So I think
we
it
both
has.
have no attention span whatsoever, so it's always something new.
Well, that's true too. 100%. So, how much has Bigfoot enhanced your life, Tobe?
At times it hasn't. At times I let it get out of control to the degree where I would forsake my own health to try to figure out this riddle. And so it is a balancing act. It can be a real catch-22. It's not
right
a blessing, but if you have the right person in your life, and you know that eventually you'll find out this stuff probably after you die, you're not going to figure it out here. You just have to enjoy the ride. And so it's really just enjoying that ride, not not being fixated on solving it, but just going on the journey. You know, that's why this paranormal road trip we took was such a metaphor for my personality now. It's just like, oh, we're just going to have adventures. Like, F yeah, let's just have adventures. And so that's what my life is. It's just like I've forsaken a lot of what people would say are safety nets of things like a career. And I've made my life about having experiences. And it was so interesting. The other month we had a psychic medium bring forth my grandmother. And I've never had a gallery reading and never really trusted a medium before, but Allie was there for this moment. And to have your grandmother come forward in a gallery reading and basically showcase that it's really my grandmother Maxine and say that she gives me her blessing about my weird choices in life and my girlfriend is like an amazing thing to have happen. So this is the kind of life I live. I don't really fit into the normal world. If I was living a normal life right now, I'd probably be trying to find a way to do this like hermetically or through taking some hallucinogen or something. Like the normal world would not work for me. I have to have these adventures. And so it's been a blessing kind of later in life to find somebody that wants to have them long term with me. Hey now.
You're both very lucky. That's great.
Well, then it sounds like to me, Tobe, that this whole Bigfoot thing is how you have Allie in your life, which means it has enhanced your life immeasurably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And if you want to propose while you're on the show, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do it. Do it.
No pressure.
That was a good one, Jason.
You're welcome. Hey, I'm working out for you here, Allie. We're rooting for you here.
Thank you.
She's got a big smile on her face, Tobe. So
I know. It's a good sign.
I'm happy.
That is a good sign.
That's great.
So she'd be happier with the ring, though. Anyway, moving on.
So, David, entertain us. We gotta get back. We're off track. David, can you entertain us with anything? Or Jeff, do you have any clips? Do you have any clips that Tobe has sent or
I don't have.
Alicia
I don't have
sent?
clips from Tobe. I've got pictures.
Well, then show us some pictures.
Sure. Can do.
Do you have anything with deer? Because apparently that's our theme today.
That's our theme. And by the way, Dean had a weird deer experience today too. Did you see his post?
Yes, I did.
He said they had a white deer run in front of his car. Oh my God.
Yeah. I have to run to the store after this. If I see a deer between here and HEB, I'm not coming back on this show ever again.
No, don't.
You know, if you could bring up the picture of
By the way, Tobe, everybody's asking you to propose right now. On the Untold Radio Network, they're asking you to.
I am not going to show up with no ring. That's not going to happen.
Oh, okay. All right, he doesn't have a ring, so it's called. They're delaying it. They'll delay it a while.
Tobe, what picture would you like?
Well, speaking
Picture
of
of a ring.
actually a segue here. We're talking about hands. There's not only the book cover, but there's a couple pictures of what look like weird handprints. In particular, like a collage of different handprints. Just bring those up real quick if you can. So I think these are topical given the Al Moon Lab and what we're finding here with Alba Vernix and Doug Hajicek and Shelley Covington's conversation with Alba Vernix.
Yeah.
And this picture here showcases a researcher by Daryl Sims' findings looking into abductions across the globe. So as you look at those pictures, there's a similarity of basically these 4-fingered or 3-fingered tridactyl looking handprints on different substrates and body parts from around the world. Now, just like Alba Vernix, these things do not come off. They degrade plastics, they degrade paint, they degrade polymers. And in one case, they burned into the abdomen of someone's skin. But the middle one there in particular, the purple looking one, looks a lot like what we found and is on the cover of the Al Moon Lab. And it is these gnarled kind of like, we call them the Chucky handprints, right?
Yeah, that's right. We did. You wanted a handprint on your cover. I remember now.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So the actual handprint that we had was kind of a gnarled, twisted finger looking thing, like arthritic. And they were infused to the guest bedroom door. And they were this chalky, oily substance that you could see, but if you had a black light, boom. So what you're seeing there is by use of black light or by transfer. And again, this guy's looking into abductees that have missing time and see crazy thing like mantid species, grays, all that stuff. So if you go to this video, I think there's a video that kind of looks like the moon in the background and the blackness. If you could play that video, I'll give it some context to what we just talked about.
All right, I'm having trouble pulling it up here. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
is that one that's right there in the middle? Is that from? Does that say Dallas, Texas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here
So if you
interesting.
You see that hand? Play that again, maybe.
Oh yeah,
So
I can see that. It's like a shadow, right?
Yeah. So that is shot by witness, also on our channel, Tara Harris, who's also a medium. And what you're seeing is a video while she's doing a spiritual clearing above the Al Moon Lab. Now, this was about a year before I met her. And it was definitely before we found that weird handprint, which is also very similar to abductees. So what I'm suggesting here and what Tara's suggesting is you're seeing one of those crazy handprints from a rich Bigfoot area where there's also most likely UAP and abductions taking place. And this is video evidence of the handprint from the Al Moon Lab in context on her phone. And so I forget the reason she had her phone out. I think it was to capture the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that she caught perhaps the Al Moon the day that the Al Moon was discovered and caught that hand on video not only points to her validity as a medium and as the real dollar bill, but the fact that this place is incredible and it is still active and always will be.
Crazy. And you guys experienced so many weird things at the Al Moon Lab. If you're interested in this kind of topic, boy, that's the book to get. And there's a ton of QR codes with audio and video and all sorts of crazy stuff in that book. So it's far more than just a book. Far more.
The way life.
Yeah, I need to get that one. That looks great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm going to add that to the collection.
Now that you've seen a knot deer.
Yeah, I have seen a knot deer.
Yeah. That's why you need that book. No. So can you explain the QR codes that are in there and what kind of stuff people can expect?
Well, with all your strength, I would imagine there'd be a fair amount of people that have copied your original idea to basically take all of the audio that Dave Ellis helped us with and the video compilations of us with our phone, basically recording events as they happen. And then as you're reading along, the QR codes take you virtually to a website where you can experience the chapter in real time.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept.
Cool technology. It's great.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Anyhow, so I don't want to ignore anybody here. David.
Oh, I'm fine.
I know you're fine. You're sitting on a mountain of stuff. And by the way, could we announce anything yet about you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
But
maybe
mind.
Next week or the week after.
Next week. Yeah. But you're sitting on how many recordings that you have in your files? Like,
well,
it's over 8,000.
I don't know exactly, but I went through, and this was 2 years ago, so I've done way more since, but collecting audio from people all over the country, including my own, and going through thousands and thousands of hours of audio. I've got about 10,000 clips now.
Wow.
Some of that's repeat, but I'm thinking I'm in the 8,000, 8,500 clips of different things, different sounds, and a lot of it is just boring wood knocks. But there is stories to tell. The way I got the audio was working with witnesses over long periods of time, 4 or 5 years at a time, recording daily at locations. That's how I was able to get thousands of hours of audio. And I'll be able to explain to people in detail how to really look at spectrograms to get the most information out of it. Because if you're just listening to audio, it really could be anything. But when you get a spectrogram, it's akin to looking at a fingerprint of information. And you can really, bioacoustics is the technical term for biology, and they can tell differences between same species. Oh, that's Fred, or that's Ed,
Right.
or something like that they can identify a character within a species. So it's really interesting stuff, and I'm hoping that I can bring along some folks so that they can understand what it is that they're looking at and hearing.
Yeah. So where's your next adventure, Alicia and Tobe?
Oh, what is our next adventure? Well, we have a commitment for the second week of October. It's called Olympic Strange Days. It's an experience where we have about 50 people show up at a private camp out near Forks, Washington. Ellie and I'll be hosting it. That is the spot to be. If you have a ticket, you're going to get a call from us here soon, warming you up for coming out in the rainforest and experiencing the phenomena. I mean, Forks is most known for twilight and vampires and werewolves. We're going to add and Bigfoot to the mix here, of course, too. And it's just a terrific little spot up Highway 101. We do it once a year. And then we have some stuff cooking around for next year as well regarding Olympic Strange Days. But Allie, what am I missing?
The Wolfman documentary should be coming out. We're planning for October time as well for that. We have some exciting, little add-ins that we want to keep going. So we're not done with bringing that whole thing together. So
yeah, there's still some missing pieces to this guy's story that we want to fulfill, because there's other players that are involved that have the credentials we need. And there's some other possible legs to the story as far as we can validate stuff this way. So we're actually on the way to go get the metadata in our hand. I can say that much. We're going to grab the old phone that took the photo, and you can't get better. So anyway, we're pretty excited.
And what are your guys' before we go? What are your thoughts on Dogman? It's such a controversial thing, but boy, the sightings keep happening. They keep happening. What are you guys? Let's start with Alicia or Allie.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I never really gave it much thought. You'd see in YouTube people's encounters, and it's not that I didn't want to listen to them, but I just was like, well, I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet, mentally. And then hearing one of the first times that I was joining in on an episode, it was Mark for the Howl, and he seemed so honest about it. And then shortly after, I heard, was it Matt
Emch's story? Yeah,
that story, the detail in that, it just started to freak me out. I was like, okay, maybe this is a possibility. And people kind of try to distinguish between maybe vocals they hear in the woods and capture that sound more Bigfooty versus Dogman. And then I have a difficult one to, but it's from the Ochocos in Oregon, and I was like, been out there so many times because family friends have property, and I have gone Bigfooting because the property owner is a believer in Bigfoot as well. We've tried so many times to go out and get like a knock, hear just like anything, nothing. But one night, I think it was like snow was melting, and I'm out on the back patio by myself, and I hear this thing just like roaring so loud. And so I start using the voice note app on my iPhone, and I capture it, and you can hear coyotes getting tripped off by this, and like the neighbor dogs as well. But this thing is like a whole other level of like depth, and it sounds like a roar. And I'm like, well, maybe that's the sound Dogman makes. I have no idea, but I'm more into it now than I was, say, like 6 months ago.
Yeah, we have silver bullets in the car now.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. David, have you ever had anybody ever send you audio and go, this is from a Dogman I saw or whatever?
No, but there are, I've often questioned some of the audio that I've got. Is it really a Bigfoot, or because of the nature, which is what you're describing as possibly roaring? I do have roaring audio that I don't know where it goes.
Doesn't fit anywhere.
Can't really prove it. Can't really prove that it's a Sasquatch by typical standards, but roaring does happen in the woods, as Alicia described. So what is it?
Right.
And until we've got some eyewitness that actually records it as they're seeing it,
Well, there's very little evidence, like, physical evidence of a Dogman. I haven't seen really any. I mean, I've seen a couple of footprints, but they could just be from a wolf. But I mean, there's kind of nothing. Except a lot of eyewitnesses. The only thing that, and they're important.
The only thing that I can kind of point to in nature is a baboon that has kind of a protruded snout.
I'm going to start calling you Jeff. I'm going to start calling you Jeff.
Question, man. I just asked a question.
That just goes. It's not. People aren't seeing baboons. Oh my God.
No, they're not seeing baboons, but they're seeing something that may have a snout that could have some physical trait being passed down through some sort of line of a baboon. Who knows? Right?
It's a troop of us.
Giant lemurs were a thing once too.
Yes. Well, how tall did this guy say that Dogman was, Tobe?
We got to save that, but let's just say it was above average. And we definitely got to the correct place to make the measurement. And just to have the witness with you that drove 12 hours.
Yeah.
And watch him go, oh my gosh, what did I see? So just exciting. A whole different world has opened up as far as looking into these mysteries. And there's Dogman encounters like in Sultan, Washington, Gold Bar, Washington. Like I had no idea that the stuff was up here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are shy in reporting it. It's kind of my guess.
Can't possibly imagine why.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Jason.
Just saying.
That was an intelligent comment. I think we're gonna wrap up. So you guys just hang tight for 1 second. We'll be right back.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. Remember, who you think you are each day completely determines the universe you live in tomorrow. And please don't forget, we don't learn much by doing, but rather by reflecting on what you have done. Good night from all of us at the Untold Radio Network. Also, if we have earned it, please leave us a kind comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks.
And we are back. So thank you so much, Tobe. If they want to get a hold of you guys, how do they do that?
Well, they can get a hold of us over at olympicstrangedays@gmail.com. You can always comment and leave your information on the YouTube channel. A Flash of Beauty Bigfoot is the YouTube channel. We do a weekly show, and then if they want to get a hold of us on Facebook, we have a site as well, or Tobe Johnson or Alicia Phifer, and that's what's going on.
And of course, you guys are very happy to get donations. I think somebody donated already tonight. I saw. Yep. I think Charles Smoke did. Yes, thank you, Charles. And with that, thank you, David. I don't know if David can hear me. Thank you, David. Thank you
very much, David.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Jason, for coming on.
Yeah.
Everybody here.
Thank you, guys.
And Jeff and everything. I think the car casting is a thing. I'm going to start requesting it now.
Yeah, worked good.
What you're supposed to know, I want you to drive. Stay on, but I want you to drive out. When you guys leave, stay on, keep it going, and drive away.
Here we go.
All right, let's do it. Here we go.
Here we go.
Leave. There we go. So now it's. I wonder if there's a law against podcasting.
Oh,
and
almost
driving.
certainly.
Okay. All right. Good night,
Lots of laws
Tobe.
just got broken.
Good night, everybody. We love you. We'll see everybody next week.
Yep.
And thanks everybody again in chat and the donations and just everything. You guys are awesome. Thanks. Good night.
Good night.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine.